Good afternoon, everyone. I would like to call this meeting to order and acknowledge that we are in Treaty 1 territory, the home and traditional lands of the Ojibwe, Cree, and Dakota peoples, and in the national homeland of the Red River Métis. Our drinking water comes from Shoal Lake 40 First Nation in Treaty 3 territory. My name is Carrie Linklater, and I am your chairperson today. And I am joined on the panel by Mr. Mark Boreski and Mr. Kent Seelan via Zoom. Our assessment department personnel today is Mr. Attar Rehan, and our administrative personnel is Mr. Tristan Breeden. To the Zoom participants of the hearing, please note you are placed in the waiting room until your property is called upon. When it is your turn, you will be admitted into the meeting. Kindly follow along on the City of Winnipeg's Board of Revision YouTube channel for the hearing process. Once the host admits you into the hearing, please close or mute your YouTube player. You will be then permitted to speak with respect to your property. Once your hearing has concluded, you can leave the meeting. We'll be hearing applications for revision of the assessment roll in accordance with the Municipal Assessment Act. The matters for which revision is requested have been described in each application, and we will limit discussion to those matters. The statements that are made at this hearing are sworn testimony, and anyone speaking to the matters must be sworn in. Be advised that comparisons of assessments of properties are not considered evidence of market value by the board. The Board of Revision is appointed annually by City Council and is independent of it and the city administration. Makes its decisions on the basis of the evidence provided at this hearing and issues a written order that will be mailed to all parties as soon as possible. Please note that the board's decisions with respect to an application may be appealed to the Manitoba Municipal Board if the matter pertains to assessed value or classification, or to the Court of King's Bench if the matter pertains to the application of exemptions from taxation. Should you wish to appeal, information on how to do so will be included with the board's order. With respect to the hearing process, I will confirm the points of appeal with your property to be addressed with each applicant following the swearing in. We will then have the assessor's testimony followed by questions that the applicant may have, and then the applicant's testimony followed by questions. Each side will have an opportunity to summarize if they wish. Once all of the evidence about an application has been brought forward, the applicant may leave. The process will repeat for each item on the docket today. The session will close after all the applications have been heard, and the board will deliberate in private and make its decisions. You will receive the board's decision by registered mail as soon as possible. As information, all public hearings are live streamed, recorded, and will be part of the public record. This afternoon, we will be hearing items 1, 2, and 6 through 15 on our docket today. Mr. Breeden, please affirm the assessor and the applicant's testimony.
So I think you need, yeah, we'll start with it. And finally, Ms.
Just going to add that we are also joined this afternoon by Ms. Fran Kodo, city personnel.
So just like this. Everyone accept.
Yep. Okay, so everyone except for item 1 will be placed into the waiting room until it is your time to be heard. Thank you. And you can follow along on the Board of Revision YouTube channel.
Mr. Assessor, please state your full name.
Author on.
Do you affirm that the evidence you're about to give at this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. You may be seated. Mr. Applicant, please state your full name.
Jaswinder Kumar.
Do you affirm that the evidence you're about to give at this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do affirm.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Kumar. Mr. Attar, thank you. If you want to start us off with our first property here, which I believe was on Lechner Drive.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The roll number of the property is 0500-518-7000. The address is 15 Blackner Drive. The neighborhood area is the Maples, and it's a one-story single dwelling built in 1973. The living area on record is 988 square feet. It has a full basement foundation with a finished basement, 2 bathrooms, central air, has no garage, and the assessed lot size is 5,603 square feet. The 2025 assessment for the property is at 343,000. The total assessment per square feet comes up to 347.17 per square feet. The comparables that I'm using are 4 comparables. 3 of the comparables are on the same street as the subject, which is Blackner Drive, and the 4th one is Kushner Crescent. They're all from same NCA neighborhood. All the comparables are one-story built between 1973 to 1974. The living area is ranging from 935 square feet to 988 square feet. All of them has a full basement foundation. All of the property has finished basement. Comp 2, 3, and 4 has same bathroom counts as the subject. The comp 1 only has 1 bathroom. Comp 1 has a single detached garage. Comp 2 and 3 has a multiple detached garage, and Comp 4 has no garage on the property. The assessed lot size for the comparables is ranging from 4,829 square feet to 5,904 square feet. The time adjusted sale price is ranging from 348,200 to 392,400, and the time adjusted sales price per square feet is ranging from 360.08 per square feet to 397.17 per square feet. Based on the comparables, we can see on the second page there is a comp map which shows that all the comparables are in close proximity of the subject. And I would like to make a recommendation to the board to maintain the current assessment at 343,000 for the subject property. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Kumar, did you have any questions to the assessor on what he has just presented?
Yes, madam, thank you. Mr. Chair, I just want to ask Mrs. Assar, Mrs. Assar, do you think that the additional garage add on the value to the house?
Yes, it does.
And the subject property doesn't have the garage?
No, it doesn't.
And this property, 46 Blatchner Drive, is it in the sale book which is published on the City of Winnipeg's website?
Yes, I believe so. They're all none of them are private sales. They're all available on MLS.
Because I couldn't find it in the sale book published on the website.
Okay, that's because it could be possible because on MLS, this property was sold on 25th of March, 2023. So sometimes the registration date of the sale happens to be late in our system. But the price was agreed for the property on 25th of March, 2023, which is before the valuation date of 1st April.
But here we are considering the sales, not the agreement to sell.
That's when the sale happened. Sometimes the land transfer happens late.
I understand, Mr. Sasser, but it's not the same day that the books are published on the website. Like they do take time.
Yes, but the sale agreement is when 2 parties agree to a sale price. This is what the date they agreed on. And as we say, because all of these days you see here on registration, sometimes they're not exactly on the sale date. The land transfer does happen to be later on. So as per my analysis, this is part of the valuation date prior sale. So that's why I'm using it.
Okay, no problem. And do you think that the property sold in the close close to the date of assessment, like the date of determination of the assessment should be more valuable instead of taking the property from 2020 or 2021?
I did not I did not understand the question. Are you asking like, is the property more valuable in 2023 valuation date?
No, like shouldn't we have to take the properties which are sold in the close period to the date of determination of the property, that is April 1st, 2023?
Well, we can go back as to the, as much as we want prior to the sale, valuation date of 1st April. As we see, as you can see in my evidence, I presented, so I did present a most recent sale, which is 25th of March, 2023, which is present there. There's also sales from 2021. And when I'm discussing the sales there, you can also see that there is I'm not going by the sales price, I'm going by the time adjusted sales price, which basically has some kind of discrepancies and changes from the original sales price, and it shows how the market changed in that period to the valuation date.
Okay, that's all the question I have, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kumar. Mr. Seelan, did you have any questions for the assessor?
Yes, the subject sale, which was April 2020, was this an arm's length sale? Do you know?
Yes, it is a arm's length sale. It was an MLS. It is sold. It is an older sale. I believe the time adjusted sales price for that sale is, let me just pull it up. Sorry, 321,000. But I would like to mention to the board, when the property sold in April 2020, there was no basement finished at that time. Basement was finished later on, after the purchase of the property.
If you had to pick one of your comparables that would be the closest to the subject, which comparable would you choose?
In terms of condition wise, because the subject does have a 10-year age variant, because it was fully updated when the sale happened back in 2020. I would say my best comparable will be 30 Kushner Crescent, which is Comp 4, which has exactly the same kind of finishes, the condition of the home, and bathroom counts, has no garage. Only the lot size is slightly smaller than the subject, but apart from that, everything is very similar to the subject.
Thank you. That's all my questions, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
Thank you. And Mr. Boraski, any questions? I think you're muted.
All right, interesting. Sorry. My question was about the finishes that you were just referring to on comparable number 4. Is that the only one that really has comparable finishes?
No, even 34 Blackner Drive has some kind of finishes, but not all. But Comp 4, which I mentioned, has the same kind of upgrades as the subject property, which includes new flooring, new windows, new furnace, new shingles, and new kitchen.
So you were just describing number 4, is that correct?
Yes.
So that brought it up to effective age 1984. Comp 2 is 1983. That has had similar upgrades.
The subject and Comp 4 has, yeah, Comp 2. It also has similar upgrades.
Okay. Do you know where are there common builders that built these originally or not?
I am not sure about the builders at this time.
Okay. All right. That's all my questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Boraski. And my question was asked and answered.
Thank you.
Mr. Kumar, if you'd like to proceed with your brief, please.
Yes, Madam Chair, thank you so much. For my brief, I have presented 5 comparables, and these are the property which were sold close to the April 1st, 2023. The first one is 118 Bletchner Drive. It has little bit smaller square footage, 946, but it's the same year built, and it has the finished basement. It has a garage as well. It was sold for 340,000, and the time adjusted price is 326. And the price time adjusted square footage price is 345.03. The other property I have, Madam Chair, is 1173 Jefferson Avenue, which is just one block down the street. It is 72-year built. It has the finished basement, and there's the same area. It was sold in June 2022, and the sale price was 341,900. The time adjusted sale price was come down. It was $312,000, and the square footage was 315. Similarly, Madam Chair, it's just the opposite of Jefferson Avenue. It's 111 Madeira Crescent. It is the same square footage as my property. It has a finished basement and a detached garage, whereas my property doesn't have a garage. It was sold in May 2021, and the time adjusted square footage is 334.92. The other property I have, Madam Chair, is 1561 Jefferson. It was sold in November 2021, was sold for 300,000, and the time adjusted square footage price is 299.10. The other property, which is in the same street, the assessor brought one property, was sold in July 2022, was sold for 347,500. But the time adjusted sale price brings down is 320,400. So I just average all these square footage price and apply to my property, and which comes to $321,000, which I'm requesting value should be.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Kumar.
Thank you.
Do you have questions?
Yes, Madam Chair, I have a few questions for the applicant. The sales that you all listed down here, all 5 of them, were they taken from MLS, or were you just took them from the sales book?
No, I just took it from the sale book.
Okay, and do you happen to know conditions of those property?
I'm not aware of the conditions.
Okay, and so just for the board, the comp 3, which is 111 Madeira Crescent, and comp 4, 1561 Jefferson Avenue. I did some research. They happen to be a private sale. No information on the sale, whether it was arm's length or not. Also for the applicant, I would like to ask, 66 Questioner Crescent, are you aware the basement is unfinished on the property?
Yeah, I mentioned that the basement is not finished.
Yeah. So do you believe that if there is a finished basement on the property, then it should be adjusted upwards?
Certainly, yes.
That will be all for the questions.
Mr. Boraski, any questions?
So each of these properties has a detached garage. Do you know the size of them? Is it 1 car, 2 car?
No, I'm not aware of them. I just took these values from the sales book from the city.
Right. Okay, that's all my questions. Thanks.
Thank you. And Mr. Seelan?
Yes, what would you consider your best comparable to your property?
My best comparable should be this 1561 Jefferson Avenue.
And why would you say it's your best?
Because it's almost the same period of the year built. It has almost the same square footage, even though it has the garage. and there's an additional fireplace which will add some value to it. But other than that, I think mostly it's the similar property.
Thank you. That's all my questions, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Mr. Kumar, I just wanted to confirm, since you've purchased the property, you've put in new flooring and a new kitchen?
I add on the basement, Madam Chair, yes.
Thank you. That's all my questions. And thank you for appearing this afternoon, Mr. Kumar.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
You'll be getting a letter in the next.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yeah.
Thank you for your presentation. Did you wish for a summation?
Yes, please.
Okay.
So I would like to summarize for the board. I've presented all the comparables which are in close proximity with same conditions as the subject. And if I'm even taking the time adjusted certified, the properties with the garage has a higher time adjusted sales price ranging from $385 to $392 for a double detached and $348 for a single detached garage. And the subject and the comparable that were provided by the applicant, he is not aware of the conditions because one of them was an estate sale and is sold and he got a new outlook for the home after it was purchased by a new buyer. 1173 Jefferson also old home, very outdated and has some deficiencies at the time of sale. And only 66 Kushner Crescent could be, in my view, considered a good comparable as it was in a good condition, but it doesn't have a basement finish on the property. So I would still like to say that 343 sounds to be a reasonable assessment in my recommendation. Thank you.
Mr. Kumar, did you wish for a summation?
Yes, Madam Chair. Just want to brief that the property which was mentioned by the assessor is 46 Blatchner Drive. It's not in the sales book, and that's where I get my comparison from, and it should be considered as post reference.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Again, thank you for appearing this afternoon, Mr. We will move on to item 2, which is at 1073 Beauty Avenue, and we have an applicant.
Mr. Applicant, please state your full name.
My name is Rajinder Singh.
Do you affirm that the evidence you're about to give at this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Mr. Singh.
Good afternoon.
Mr. Whenever you are ready.
Am I the first one to go ahead?
So the roll number for the property is 0500-9393-100. The address is 1073 Beauty Avenue. It's in the neighborhood of Layla and Next Phillips. Building type is a bi-level, and is a single dwelling built in 2015. The living area is 1,201 square feet. It has a full basement foundation with a finished basement. It has 2 full baths, 1 half bath, 1 shower. There is a multiple attached garage to the property. The assessed lot size is 4,933 square feet with a commercial adjacent land influence. The assessment for the property for 2025 is at 425,000. The total assessment per square feet comes up to 353.87 per square feet. The comparables that I'm presenting are four comparables. Comp one is in a different neighborhood, which is Mandalay West. It is also a bi-level home built in 2008. The living area is 1392 square feet with an unfinished basement. It has two full baths, a multiple attached garage. The lot size for that property is 5,952 square feet. It has commercial adjacent land influence, hydro transformer box, and light traffic. The time adjusted sales price for that property is $495,400. And the adjusted time adjusted sales price per square feet for 355.89 per square feet. Com two is 1523 Layla Avenue. It's also in a different neighborhood, which is Amber Trails. Same building type as subject, built in 2005. The living area is 1178 square feet. It has full basement foundation with a finished basement and two full baths. It has a detached multiple garage, 3,498 square feet lot with a medium traffic influence. The time adjusted sales price is $478,800, and the adjusted sales price per square feet comes up to $406.45 per square feet. Comp three is 247 Maple Glen Drive. That's also in a different neighborhood, which is the Maples. It is a bi-level single dwelling built in 1971. 1,040 square feet, full basement foundation with a finished basement. It also has a multiple detached garage. The assessed lot size for that comparable is 6,048 square feet. It has a bus route and light traffic land influence. The property time adjusted sales price for that one is $383,400, and the time adjusted sales price per square feet is $368.65 per square feet. And the last comparable, which is 38 Dobrinsky Drive. It is in the same neighborhood as the subject, Layla and Max Phillips Triangle. It has a bi-level built single dwelling built in 1988. It has a living area of 1,040 square feet, full basement foundation with a finished basement. It has two full baths, has no garage, 4,309 square feet for the assessed lot size. It has a hydro transformer box and it's on the corner land influence. The time adjusted sales price for that property is $320,900. And the time adjusted sales price per square feet is $308.56 per square feet. And I would like to recommend the board to maintain the current assessment of $425,000. And that's all for my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Singh, did you have any questions to the assessor on what he has just presented?
Yes, I do, Mr. Would like to ask this comparison 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I'm just looking at the comparison 3 and 4. They are like literally like 40 or 50-year-old. The square footage is less. I'm just wondering, like, how do you even compare such an old construction with the 2015 built construction? Like, I don't even get, like, they're totally different construction codes, and bunch of things are missing probably from the old construction compared to the new one, right? For example, some pumps and the 2x4s are used instead of 2x6 and all those things, right? So I'm just taking some examples here, right? But other than that, before even talk about comparison 3 and 4, I believe the comparison 1 and 2, which will be more closer to be comparable to my property. The comparison 1 that has no finished basement. The comparison 2 has a finished basement. The comparable one has 5,900 square feet of total load size. Number 2 has only 3,498 square feet. I believe the value of my property based on the age or the year of construction and the lot size and what is completed in the property, it should be between the comparable 1 and 2, which is far away from what is the assessed value of 2025 right now. I mean, this is just looking at this sheet I'm talking, and I have other support documents that we can talk about later on.
Okay, Mr. Singh, if we can just allow the assessor to answer your questions, thank
Sure.
you.
So just clarifying, you saying that your property should be valued between the comp 1 and comp 2 time adjusted sales price?
Yeah.
Are you looking for an increase in the assessment?
Yes, I am looking for an increase. That was the reason I applied for the appeal.
Okay. Well, now because those properties are in a different neighborhood, they're not in the same NCAs as yours. I would not exactly go by those sales prices because your neighborhood, the Amber Trails and Mandela West, they are totally different locations as the subject. I would say Amber Trail is more kind of a more newer development than the other ones.
But you picked those comparables yourself. I mean,
Yes.
you were the one came up with those comparables.
No, I came up with those comparables. My reasoning for comparables was that the subject NCA, which is your NCA, does not have the bi-level homes built in 2015. We don't have any sales for that in that neighborhood. So I had to go pick and choose the ones which I find more comparables to yours. As we see, the comp 4, which basically is in the same neighborhood as yours, it is the older home, but there is 100,000 difference between the time adjusted sales price and your assessed value, right? And it's 200 square feet smaller. So I would, in my opinion, in my assessment, is that the subject NCA does not have the same location premium than the other ones.
So the comp 4 doesn't have any garage, and the square footage is less, and it's like the I don't know if there is any difference value addition between having a attached garage or versus detached garage. I don't know if that is of any that adds any value. Mine is attached garage, and I also noted that I do have an air conditioner. It's not mentioned here. I don't know why. I do have a central air. That's another 3-4 grand worth of value.
Mr. Singh, did you just have questions? You can talk about your property next, but did you have
Okay.
your questions?
Those were the only questions, Mr. Yeah.
Okay. All right, thank you. Thank you. Mr. Boreski, did you have any questions for the assessor?
Oh, yes. I'm really struggling with these comparables. They are very, very different one from another. They are very widely spaced geographically, not in the same neighborhoods, which really makes me want to know, what was your prioritization of characteristics? Was it just the fact that they're bi-levels? And does that mean that buyers really want bi-levels? They're not looking for, say, square footage or price or age or that sort of thing. They really, really want a bi-level? Is that your top priority for choosing comparables?
My top priority was to kind of go as close as possible to the subject property. Because when I was reviewing, then the neighborhood has one story is a different from bi-level in terms of pricing. So I did not want to go with the one story because then the price will be higher for those comparables. So then when I started looking for comparables for this property, initially I looked in the same NCAs, bi-levels, any kind of bi-level that was kind of a recent, maybe built after 2000, which I didn't. So that's why the only one I included was the comp 4, just for the location and the bi-level purpose, and it was closer to the subject property in square footage. But then
why was it that it was most important to find bi-levels as opposed to finding square footage, for instance?
I mean, because the building type does kind of factor in the price and the market value for the property. So I can find a two-story with the same square footage, but it will have a different market value. That was the reason.
Is the most influential characteristic bearing on price the structure shape as opposed to, say, the age or the square footage?
I would say age and square footage will be more bearing on the market value than the structure.
Well, then why did you use bi-level structure type and consequently find highly disparate comparables?
As I mentioned, because I wanted to be as close to the subject as possible. And that's why, I mean, comp 1 and comp 2 would be my best comps in terms of that. They are in a different neighborhood, but they're not a lot far away from the subject. Their square footage is also in the ranges of 1178 and 1392. They are both in the recent time between 2005 2008. And they have same kind of characteristics, except comp 1 has no basement finish. That was my logic behind choosing those comps here.
And were there no 2015 or thereabouts sales of properties that had about 1,200 square feet, regardless of structure type, in the same neighborhood?
No, there would have been, but I restricted myself to this structure type.
Okay. All right, that's all my questions.
Thank you, Mr. Steele.
Yes, Mr. Assessor, under land influences, you have a commercial adjacent. Can you explain what the commercial adjacent is?
Yeah, let me just pull up, sorry for this. Yeah, there are townhomes in kind of the opposite direction of the subject, so that's why there is a commercial adjacent land influence on this property.
And how would townhouses affect this property and its assessment value?
At this time, I don't have any answers in numbers, so I won't be able to answer that question. Sorry.
Okay. Thank you. That's all my questions, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Just one quick question, Mr. Burhan. The topic of your comparables has been noted. Despite that, I am just wondering which one would you suggest is your best comparable?
Well, I would suggest comp 1 and comp 2 to be my best comparables because they are more closer to the subject. But yet again, they are in a different NCAs, so. But comp 1 and comp 2, to be precise.
So, okay, and you're basing that on their proximity.
Based on proximity, yeah, I mean, because comp 2, what I've studied so far and driven by the neighborhoods of these areas, comp 2 is in a more newer neighborhood than the subject, so that's why I believe it's higher valued.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Singh, if you would like to proceed. And before we do, Mr. Singh, I just wanted to clarify something. Did you say you were looking for your property to be increased? Did I mishear you on that?
Yeah, I'm looking for the revised assessment value because I believe it's undervalued right now. I'm looking at this comp values. I didn't even realize the neighborhood values are so high. I was even the evidences I presented, those were based on what I spent on my property after developing my basement after 2020 or during 2020 and after. And I felt I just recently got a HELOC on my property, and bank's assessor they valued the property at 445,000, and that's being very conservative, right? Because they want to go with the very lowest number just to cover their risk, basically, right? So if I go look at the realtor.c or whatever, I mean, I don't know if you guys really even entertain that, but I'm just saying the house of my age, this 2015 build with these features and finished basement and everything finished in the backyard and front yard would be in a range of $500,000, to be honest. In the recent sales, I mean, you can. I didn't go there because the instructions were that the board of revision will not entertain those numbers, so I didn't even bother to bring those in. Otherwise, I would have picked some numbers and shared something.
Okay, if you would just like to proceed then with the information you provided us.
Yeah, the information I provided. So I believe you have a copy of. So the page number 1 is basically a summary of all the items that I purchased and or rented or bought from Home Depot, basically, and the work I've done. So that's basically material and labor. I'm talking. I self-perform the work, so but it's still worth something. The work won't happen by itself. If you go and then if you scroll down from page 2 to 40, that's all. Those are all the supporting receipts from Home Depot. And on page number 41, that's the appraisal report from TD Bank that was done just recently in May 2024. Page number 44, at the very bottom of that page, you'll see the assessed value as of May 15, 2024 is at $445,500. And that was the reason why I basically appealed to look at this basically start the reassessment of the page number 48, 49 to 51. Some pictures of the work I've done, basically, just an evidence that the work has been done to validate my claim. But that's basically pretty much all I came in with. Before I looked at these comparable properties, like I didn't even know that I should have asked for more.
All right, thank you.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, the value should be between comparable 1 and 2, to be honest. I'm not asking. I'm just looking for fair number. That's all.
Okay, Mr. Renan, questions?
Yes, yes, Madam Chair. So just one question I would have. Now this appraisal report that we're discussing on your brief here, this was done after the valuation date of 1st April?
I'm not sure. Like I had received a letter from the city, and I don't know when it came. I don't exactly remember the date, but yeah. So the appraisal must have been done after the assessment, right? Because your assessment happens in April, I believe, right? So the date of this appraisal is May 15. So yes, it happened after I received the assessment.
So the date on this is mentioned, correct me if I'm wrong, is 15th of May 2024. Is this correct? Okay. So this is just this year that you got this appraisal done.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay, that'll be all.
Thank you. Mr. Seelan, did you have any questions to the applicant?
Yes, Mr. Zane, do you think the side-by-sides across in front of your home change the value and affect your assessment value?
I don't know how to answer that question. Like those are also residences. People live there, like I do live in my house, right? So the new areas that are getting developed, if you look around, they all have multi-family housings. right? So I think they all have their own charm. I don't really think it does affect the value of the property because it's not just a neighborhood only. I mean, if we talk about the neighborhood, I would say being adjacent to the commercial, it's an advantage because it's close by, right? Yeah, I don't really see being opposite to side by side is going to be any kind of advantage to my property because my property is newly built with all the codes, everything is finished. It's a newly built property, and it should have its own characteristics that will define the value of the property. So, and the basement and everything is permitted. All the work is done per code. So, yeah, I hope I answered the question, but
Certainly, thank you. That's all my questions, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Mr. Boraski. Oh, you're muted, Mr. Boraski.
I have no questions, thanks.
Thank you. I also have no questions. Mr. Rehan, did you have any request for a summation?
No, I'm fine. Thank you.
Mr. Singh, did you have any need for a summation?
no, I think we covered pretty much everything. So when should I expect to hear from you, from the city?
It's about 2 to 3 weeks.
Okay,
All right, and thank you for appearing this afternoon.
thank you. Thank you all.
We will move on to 93 Edgewood Place. And just go over it.
Good afternoon, Ms. Applicant. Can you please unmute?
Hello,
Hello, can you please state your full name?
Ingrid Beach.
Do you affirm that the evidence you're about to give at this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yeah,
Okay, thank you.
Good afternoon, Ms. Leach. Mr. Rehan, whenever you are ready.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So, the subject property is, roll number has 0500-929-0800. The street address is 93 Ancliffe Place. It is a bi-level single dwelling built in 2008. The living area is 1,226 square feet. It has a full basement with no basement finish, 2 full baths. It has a central AC, a attached multiple garage, 7,174 square feet assessed lot size. The assessment for that property is 442,000. The total assessment per square feet is 360.52 per square feet. I have 4 comparables for this property here. All the comparables are a bi-level. Comp 1 and Comp 4 are in a different neighborhood of Templeton and Sinclair. All the comparables are ranging between, the year of built is ranging from 1992 to 2010. They are all, the living area is also ranging between 928 square feet to 1,029 square feet. They all have full basement foundations. Comp 1, 2, and 3 has a finished basement. Comp 4 has a unfinished basement. All the properties have similar bathroom counts except for Comp 1, which has 1 full bath, 2 half bath, and 2 showers. They all have central AC. Comp 1 has a multiple attached garage, and Comp 4 has a multiple attached garage. Comp 2 and 3 has a detached multiple garage. The assessed lot size is ranging from 3,735 square feet to 7,714 square feet. Comp 1 has a commercial adjacent land influence. Comp 2 has a backland land influence. Comp 3 has commercial adjacent external corner, light traffic, rail line, and land influences. Time adjusted sales price is ranging from 364,600 to 461,100. The time adjusted sales price per square feet is ranging from 391.64 per square feet to 470.51 per square feet. I would like to recommend the board to maintain the current assessment at 442 for the subject property. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Beach, did you have any questions to what the assessor has just presented?
No, not really, I guess, no.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Seelan, did you have any questions?
Yes, can you tell me what your closest comparable is to the subject property, please?
Number
Sure.
seven. Oh, sorry.
450 Sueles Avenue and 4 Glencairn are the closest comparables in terms of, although they both are in a different NCA, but they have same issues that the applicant listed down when we had a conversation regarding the smell from the sewage plant, the rail line, and the traffic issues.
Just so I get this, did you say comp 3 and comp 4?
Yes.
Okay, and you mentioned there was the issue with the rail line.
Yes, we did have conversations with the applicant prior to the hearing months ago. Her concern was that there is a smell from the sewage plant, there is a rail line which causes impact to the house, loud noises, and also there's a lot more traffic and noise. So that's why I try to include properties which kind of share those negative influences.
And the commercial adjacent?
Yeah, the commercial adjacent for the Glencairn is a hydro. It's a Manitoba hydro property. Or what do you, is it like a plant thing?
Is it transformers or is it how do you say a switching building? What is it as?
Yeah, I mean, there's no building on it. It's
No.
mostly towers.
Oh, it's towers.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, thank you. That's all my questions, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Mr. Boraski?
Yeah, on the subject of smell, that is from the North End treatment plant, is that correct?
Yes, even if in the map, if you're able to see it on page 2 in my comparable evidence that I've submitted. The sewage plant is just right at the back of the subject property.
Oh. Where there's the lot with the small box?
Yes, that's the
That is the treatment plant, okay?
Yeah.
And does that include lagoons, solid storage sites, that sort of thing, or are they somewhere else?
Can you repeat the question?
Along with the treatment plant being on that lot, does that lot contain lagoons for liquids? And does it contain areas for storage of solid material?
I did not happen to see any lagoons, so I'm not sure regarding that.
Okay.
But I did not see anything like that.
And so the subject is subject to those smells, you agree?
Yes.
And comps 1 and 4 to the west, are they subject to it?
Yes, because they're also very close to that plant.
Uh-huh. What about comps 2 and 3?
Comp 2 and 3 are further down, down Main Street, so I believe they won't share that sewage smell issue unless there is a strong wind going that way. But they do have that rail line going through the, I mean, very close to their properties and high traffic negative influences, but not the sewage plant, I believe.
Where does that rail line lead to?
It's going all the way down, so the rail line is basically dividing the west from the east here. So if you see comp 4 and comp 1, which is Sway's.
No. What I mean is trains going to the north, where are they going?
I have no idea.
Do you have any idea of what the frequency of trains is?
No.
Okay. What is immediately behind comp 1, between it and Ferrier Street?
Like between Ferrier and
Comp 1.
behind it, so. Yeah. It's yeah, I can't say exactly what it is. It's some kind of a industrial commercial property here.
Okay. And immediately behind the subject, is that a lane?
Yeah, immediately behind the subject, there is a lane, and on that lane, there are lots which are assigned for residential properties or future development if somebody wants to start doing it. Right now, they are zoned as residentials, but there is no construction over there, so it's like a plain green land over there at this time.
So from that lane towards the south, you wouldn't notice anything other than essentially what appears to be vacant land. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's just vacant land at that time.
And it is zoned for residential?
It is zoned for residential, as I did kind of pull up and see. So right now there are vacant lots all for residential, unless something else changes in future.
Yeah, that's all my questions. Thank you.
My questions have been asked and answered. Ms. Beach, if you would like to give us your brief.
I had one question regarding the Chief Pegulas Trail, because my understanding is once they start construction, it's going to be right in my backyard, and that's going to create lots of constant noise from the traffic. So I'm just wondering if that's something that's going to be considered, is that building of the Chief Pegulas Trail, which is going to be right in my backyard.
Yeah, so in future, if that's the case, if there is high traffic directly impacting your property, then that will be taken into consideration.
Well, my understanding is that the decision already has been made that there is going to be that building of the Chief Pegulas Trail extension, that that decision has already been made, is my understanding. They just need to set a date for that.
Yeah, but as of now, we have nothing at that location. The decision must have been made, but nothing has been constructed or worked on.
Okay, I wanted to ask that question.
Would you like to present the information you provided to us, Ms. Beach?
Yeah, just the main points there, that I do live right behind that the sewage plant. And the thing is, because it's just vacant land, the wind just blows right across the land into my backyard. So there's an increased smell, like, because it's just open land, and we do have a strong wind in my neighborhood. So there's an increased smell there from that. And then I can continue on
Yes.
my letter here. I believe that to inhale the smell on a regular basis is unhealthy, and I've been told that actually a lot of diseases are carried in feces. So that's another thing that concerns me. I also have on my letter, as was already mentioned, is that I do live close to the train tracks, and the train comes on its regular schedule, and it is loud. And then also, since they fixed and paved Murray Avenue, that gravel road that used to be there, there's increases traffic and noise in there. This area is also very a popular area for speeders. People speed a lot with their vehicles here. And I'm sure if you check with the police department, they would agree that there is a lot of speeding going on in this area. There's also lots of accidents in this area as a result. So the noise from the speeding is disturbing. And my understanding is that the community has appealed to the police department to stop the speeders, but as of yet, it hasn't been corrected. So I'll move on in my letter then. I had been informed by a real estate agent that the buy levels are of a less value as compared to bungalows. So my property is a buy level. Also, recently the city added a new bus route on Murray. Just recently, we have buses in our area now, which we didn't have before. As a result, we have more noise traffic, and we have more people congregated in the area. Also, this area is commonly known for strong winds. And like I said, if it just open vacant land, the winds are even stronger than they would be otherwise. So with the strong winds, there's a potential for property damage from the strong winds. I know some of my neighbors had told me that they've had some of their shingles fly off of the roof because of the strong winds. And also the strong winds that are common in this area, it becomes colder than normal. So it's that's another issue for this area. So I couldn't really find any buy levels in my particular area with the same characteristics I had. But that's all I had to say.
All right, thank you. Questions?
No questions.
Great, thank you. Mr. Seelan, any questions to the applicant?
Yes, Ms. Beach, what would you say is a fair assessment value for your property?
I would say 400,000.
Thank you. That's all my questions, Madam Chair.
Thank you. And Mr. Boraski?
Just a question about the speeding. You're saying the speeding is on Murray Avenue? Is that correct?
The speeding is in the area, also in my area, but it's in my area plus over on the next block on Murray.
Oh,
There's a lot of speeding there, and there's a lot of accidents in the area and also right at the corner on Main Street due to the speeding.
uh-huh. Okay.
Yeah.
If I may, Madam Chair, could I readdress the question to the assessor?
Yes, go ahead.
So I was asking about those subdivided lots that are behind the applicant's house. The area then to the west across the railroad tracks, is that a right of way that I'm seeing? Vacant right of way, or what is what appears to be the possibility of an extension of Ferrier and also a east-west area? Is that a vacant right of way at this point?
I don't see any roads or any passing by in that part. So I'm guessing there's no go-through road over there.
I'm sorry, I didn't understand that.
Like, are you asking, like, is there a way to pass down?
No, what I'm asking is that reserved for a potential right of way, i.e. extension of Peguis Trail?
No, I don't see anything like that. I have no knowledge of it at this time. That is,
Okay.
it's an extension of Chief Peguis.
Okay, so you don't know what is on that land at this point, is that correct?
Yeah, right now, all is there is it's a vacant space. It's just green land over there.
Okay,
But right on the behind the property, subject property, there are residential vacant lots. But
Okay.
on the other side is, there's nothing at this time.
Yeah. All right. Will you agree that it has the appearance of a fairly wide right of way?
Potentially, yes.
Do you know how long that has been subdivided and shown on the plans in that fashion?
I don't know about that.
Okay, that's all my questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
I wanted to say one more thing, if I could.
Sure, go ahead, Ms. Beach.
The other thing I was gonna say, when I first moved here, there was a lot of green space, lots of nature. It was very nice to be in an area like that. That's one of the reasons why I came here. But over time, there's been more building of new houses in the area, and like this gentleman just said, there's a lot of space for even building more and more. So with that, like I said, we don't have that nice park green space that we used to enjoy for going for walks and just enjoying nature. And like I said, more and more houses are being built in the area. So we're gonna have and continue to have more and more people moving in. So therefore there's gonna be, again, more traffic and also more noise.
Okay. And I just have a question for you, Ms. Beach. In regards to the train.
Yeah.
When it is traveling through your neighborhood, is it blowing the horn?
Yeah, you can hear that train sound that it makes, yes.
Okay, but are they actually blowing the horn for the train?
Well, you know, the sound that comes out of a train, that's the sound that comes out, like it's like a horn blowing, yes.
Okay, okay. And can you just say, approximately how many times a day is that going on, the train passing through your area?
I would say, I don't know exactly, but I would probably say, maybe every 2 or 3 days.
Okay. Thank you. Did you have a wish for a summation on this property?
Yeah, I mean, only one thing that I would like to summarize my presentation is the comparable that I'm using also share all those concerns that the applicant has listed down regarding the rail line, the sewage plant smell, and also the traffic in the neighborhood. I mean, yet again, there is we can see that these comparables are ranging between 364, 600. Until 461, 100. But the most recent one that we use, 451 Swaley's and 450 Swaley's Avenue. With similar square footage. I mean, they're a little bit small, but it is 442 is still supported by those comparables, including those negative influences. So yeah, that'll be all. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Beach, did you have a wish for a summation on your property?
I'm sorry, I don't understand the question.
Did you want to sum up what you've just said about your property?
No, I just wanted to present those points that I've already presented, and that's all I have to say.
All right, and thank you. And thank you for your appearance this afternoon.
Okay.
And our next item, number 7, has been adjourned to a later time.
Excuse me, do you mean we're putting it down to the bottom of the agenda or to another day?
I'm sorry, Mr. Brodsky, I didn't hear you.
Is this being put down to the bottom because the applicant is not present, or are we?
No, it's not going. It's not going to the bottom. And it's
Okay.
not, anyway, it's been adjourned.
All right.
Does the panel members wish to take a short break?
Sure.
Yes, thanks.
We'll just have a 5-minute recess. We'd like to call this hearing back to order. We are moving on to our next item, which is number 8. And whenever you are ready, Mr. Ryan. Oh, sorry, if you could swear in the applicant. Oh, yes.
Mr. Applicant, please stand. Please state your full name.
Sean Rowe Restall.
Do you affirm that the evidence you're about to give at this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Mr. Restall.
That's good.
And whatever you're ready.
Madam Chair. So the subject property roll number is 0500-921-3100. The address is 67 Arrowhead Court. The neighborhood is Templeton Sinclair. It's a 2-story built in 2006. The living area is 2,093 square feet. It has a full basement foundation with a finished basement. It has 2 full baths, 2 half baths, 1 shower. It has a central AC, 1 fireplace, a attached multiple garage. The assessed lot size is 4,812 square feet. And the 2025 assessment is 551,000. The total assessment per square feet comes up to 263.26 per square feet. The comparables I'm presenting, there are 4 comparables for the subject property. They are all in same neighborhood as the subject, which is Templeton Sinclair. All of the comparables are 2-story built between 2005 and 2009. The living area is ranging from 1736 square feet to 1887 square feet. They all have full basement foundation. All the comparables except comparable 1 have finished basement. They have central ACs. Comp 1 and Comp 3 has a fireplace. Comp 2 and 4 does not have a fireplace. All have the same attached multiple garage. The assessed lot size is ranging from 4,171 square feet to 6,710 square feet. The time adjusted sales price is ranging from $513,600 to $579,700. The time adjusted sales price per square feet is ranging from $291.68 per square feet to $308.68 per square feet. I would like to make a recommendation to maintain the current assessment of 2025 at $551,000. Thank you.
Thank you. And did you have questions to the assessor?
Yes, I do. First off, you said that your comparable 1, you said it's a half basement?
I said there is no finished basement.
No finish, okay, because so when it says full basement, it's not talking about the finish or anything there.
No, it's just foundation type.
Okay. Next question is, how did you come to decide on these 4 comparables and what made them stand out besides all the other listings in the sales book?
What made them stand out? The Aero built, the building type, which is 2-story. And then my square footage was also another consideration of the variable that I was using. And then the last one was finished basement.
Okay, and I noticed you were using sales from the most recent sales book 2023 and then the one previous 2021, is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed that from your listings, 2 of the projects that weren't listed, one of which was on my street was 19 Arrowhead. Do you have any reason why that would not have been included?
I have no idea why it wasn't listed on my comparables. But just give me a second here. Well, it could have been because it has a smaller square footage than these ones.
Because I know the square footage for 19 Arrowhead is 1,711, which is pretty close to 474, so else you're comparable to.
Well, the one I'm having on record is 1711 for that property.
Yeah.
So that's
Okay, and then the second one was, I was wondering why, would be 515 swales. Which again, you may be saying it's the square footage, because that one's square footage of 1655.
yeah, I mean, and in terms of why I would exclude the other ones that you will mention. Is pretty much because these are the ones I would find closer to the square footage of your property, which is 2093 on record that we have. Anything above than that, I kind of excluded it, and anything too smaller than that, I kind of excluded it. So these were the 4 I could come up with.
Okay, so when you're making your comparables, do you ever evaluate based off the adjusted price per square foot?
Yes.
Okay, so then for 19 Arrowhead, what was the adjusted price per square foot?
I don't have that.
Okay.
On me right now.
All right, because I have it, I think I had calculated about $264.40 a square foot. And then for 515 swales, I'm assuming you also don't have that calculation there. The adjusted square price per square foot I have at $262.
Okay.
So for your comparable number 4, the North Mount Cove one, can you explain why it has a higher valuation compared to the other comparables?
Why it has a higher valuation?
Yes.
It's the lot size too that is also concerning. It's 6,710 square feet. The other comparables that are listed on my list, they are ranging from 4,171 up to 5,197. Now there could be other variables. Now I'm not exactly sure why there is a big difference between them, but my initial guess would be that lot size is quite significantly bigger than the other ones.
Okay, so lot size does come into play in your calculation of the
Yes, it
assessments
does.
for all the properties. Okay. To your knowledge, were there any renovations for the North Mount Cove one?
I did not find any, no, I did not find any upgrades. I'm not aware of them.
So you're not, okay, from your experience, generally when people, because most of the information is coming from the sale book, is that correct?
We usually, what we do is whenever we kind of bring up the comparables,
Mhm.
when we print it to you, we kind of first verify them on a public listing platform, which is MLS.
Yeah.
And compare the photos with what we have for your property with the subject. So I have pictures from 2018 sales for your property.
Yes.
That happened. So I was comparing those pictures with the ones that I have for comparables and seeing if there's any kind of deficiencies or any kind of issues or changes in that thing. So that's my opinion that all of the comparables are of the same condition as the subject.
Okay, and then generally from your experience, when people are, because my data is based off the sales book, and which is happens when someone's selling a property, is that correct?
Yes.
To your experience, do people renovate their homes prior to selling?
Yeah, a lot of time.
Okay, so that renovations like that, would that increase the value of the home based off the assessment?
If a property, if there's a renovation, then there's a likely chance that it will be going for a big higher market value.
Okay. Would I guess, how recent a renovation does, would that increase the value of the assessment? So for example, if someone had renovated a basement 4 years ago compared to a basement being renovated or finished 20 years ago, would that have an impact?
When we talk about renovations that's only because whenever the house is under renovation, the only thing we change on our end is the age variant that we apply to a property. And we usually do age variants for properties which are 1990 or less. Anything above 1990 built or more, we kind of avoid adding any kind of age variant because they're newer than the older ones. So usually what happens is if somebody renovates their basement, we kind of don't usually put age variants on the property just for that basement specifically. But if they kind of do like new cabinets, new flooring, new windows or shingles kind of thing, that's when we kind of go for that, reassessment of that property. Usually, I mean, it's case to case, but that is generally what I'm saying.
Okay, so going to like the 42 Sunterra Cove, my documents, I got a MLS listing.
Yeah.
Stating like a fully finished basement done in year 2020, shingles updated year 2020. You're saying that the shingles would provide a positive impact to increase the evaluation compared to the basement?
Okay, now, first I would like to are you talking about the assessment value of the property specifically, or are you talking about the sales? Like the sale price?
So it was my understanding based off the sales book that has an impact on the assessed value. That's why we have to rely on the sales book. It's my first time doing this, so correct me if I'm wrong.
No, so the assessed value is based on the market data of the properties. So whatever is sold prior to 2023, 1st of April, we can use it to support that if the assessment is supported or not. Now, based on that, these properties that are listed down here, so now I'm not sure I did see that they had the basement done in 2020. I'm not sure if they had a finished basement prior to that or not at this time. It could be that they got a permit and they built a new basement, which they didn't have before. At this time, when the property sold, it did have a finished basement, so be it they redone it or not, the basement was considered as part of the sale.
Okay. And that would, obviously the MLS listing would have the sale price, but you're saying that that sale price does not impact the assessed value? That's why I'm a bit confused on.
Okay, yeah, no, so. When we make the assessment, like when we send out the letters for the assessment. We do support them by sales of the properties. That's what the model comes up with. They use sales from the neighborhoods, same conditions, same year of built usually. So. When we're talking about, if you're talking about 42 Centera. The question that I'm understanding is, are you saying that? The basement finish doesn't impact the assessed value? Or are you asking like, does the basement finish impact the sales value?
I'm asking. I guess it was my understanding that it was kind of one and the same. But if you're telling me that the sales value is different than the assessed one, you're like, are they two separate like factors there?
So. Just the sales value is the fact. It is what it is.
Yes.
Right? But there's no change to it. The assessed value is what we believe your property is worth based on the market data on 1st of April 2023. So now it doesn't have to, like 551 is what we propose for you. So, and you're saying that it's not worth 551 as of that date.
Yes.
That's what we're contesting, right? But as the comparables show here, the 4 comparables that I present with the same year of built, which is between 2005 and 2009. The sales prices for those property was similar square footage, although they are all smaller than your property here. They're showing that they could have been sold between 513,600 up till 579,700. So there's a range there.
Yes.
And your property lies right in the middle, although it's the highest living area that we have for your property in comparison to all these 4.
Oh, okay. I wrap my head around that. Again, sorry if I'm just beating a dead horse, but then in that case, someone renovating things in their home wouldn't increase their assessed value then?
It's necessary, it's not that renovating, it depends on what kind of house and
Yeah.
how old the house is and what level of renovations they do. So for example, if a house isn't built in, for example, 2010, 2015,
Yes.
and they just change their flooring with the new color or maybe a same style,
Yeah.
just a different material, then no, it won't have an impact on the assessed value because in 2010 or 15, the house was a new build. If they kind of upgrade to a different kind of style or different color, doesn't happen to change the value of the homes. But if they change the overall interior of the home, that's a different scenario. For example, they ripped out the kitchen, the new kitchen, ripped out, put in hardwood floorings except for vinyl laminate. Redid their whole master bedroom kind of thing, new plumbing, luxurious home style. Then you're asking about different assessments.
Okay, so then if we go to my documents for the MLS listing for 459 swales, it was listing like new hot water tank, carpet, and 2nd bedrooms, new deck, those things. You're saying that that would be like a positive influence?
New furnace, yes, for sure. But as I said, it has to be a lot of things for it to be considered that will impact the assessed value. But right now, we're not talking about the assessments of the other properties. We're just talking about what data we have in front of us in sales.
Yes.
If I, just for your knowledge, 11 Northmont Cove, it sold for 579,700. You asked me, why is the price so higher than the other comps? And I said, because the lot size is significantly bigger for that. So that is, now I'm not sure why it sold for 579,700 exactly.
Yeah.
But based on my expertise and that, it shows me that there is a huge difference in the lot size, which is obviously worth more than the other properties. So that is one thing. It must have been, they must have kind of, changed few things in the house, what originally was there. Like you said, they did the basement in 2020, so that is one thing, yet again. But did they change the whole thing from 2005? I don't see any whole level of renovations for that property.
Okay,
What I saw was just a new flooring. And obviously the basement.
Did you have any more questions?
no, I think that's it for the questions I have. Thank you for educating me.
No, it's okay, thank you.
Mr. Seeland, did you have any questions to the assessor?
Yes, can you tell me if the sale in 2018 was arm's length?
It was. Sorry, just give me a second.
Sure, thanks.
Yes, it was sold on MLS. It was the arm's length transaction as the knowledge we have.
What would be the time adjusted sale price?
I can give you time adjusted sales price, but that will be based on 2021 valuation date, not 2023.
Okay,
Yeah, because it's a 2018 sale, so that's using the previous cycle, not this one.
okay, understood.
But the time adjusted for that based on the previous cycle is 519, 388,000,
I'm sorry, 519.
388.
Thank you. When we look at your comparables, what would you say would be the best single comparable to the subject property?
Well, I would put them all similar to subject, like there is no difference between the quality, the condition. Except for the comp one, which has no basement finish,
Mhm.
which is still sold for $550 as per the time adjusted sales price. The lot size are very similar except for the comp 4, which has a significantly higher lot, but that can be seen in the price, which is $579,700. But all of them, even if you see on the map, they're like in close proximity. The aero built is ranging from 2005 to 2009, which is also close. Square footage is lower for the comps than the subject. And even if we look at the time adjusted sales price per square feet, the subject time adjusted sales price per square feet is very low at $263.26. So I would say all of the comps are pretty good.
Okay, thank you. That's all my questions, Madam Chair.
Thank you. And Mr. Boresky?
Yes, you use the term age variant. Is age variant the number of years between age or the year built and the effective age as you show on your sheet here?
Yes.
And did you say there was a certain year after which you will not apply an age variant?
Yeah, I mean, it's so it wouldn't be a definite statement that I wanted to make, but usually we try to do homes which are older than 1990 for effective age variance. And then it also depends if for example, if a house is built in 1995, but it went through a whole different like redone from inside, we can also do age variant on that property. It's not like we can't. It depends on the level of renovations and upgrades done to the house.
So if it was built in 1985, new roof or say 2000, you would do an effective age on that. But if it was 1990 with new roof in 2000, you would not. Is that correct?
So if it's a 1985 home, which has, so as I said, if it's just a new roof, then we won't do any effective age for just a new roof. We'll look at what kind of upgrades they've done, like including flooring, kitchen cabinets, plumbing fixtures, furnace, shingles. If they've done 2 or 3 things, then we might see what kind of effective age, because we use a effective age calculator, which is basically sent us by the modeling team that we use. Now, I'm not an expertise on how they bring up the numbers. So, and in 1990, if someone redid the house altogether again, we can also use the effective age for that. It's not like we cannot.
So obviously then, saying something was altered with a fairly substantial renovation in 1995, had been built in 1980, you're likely to do effective age on that. It just strikes me as being very important that we know exactly what is producing an age variant, when it is producing one and when it is not, because of the implications for the value. This renders your effective year built rather confusing in my mind. Ignoring that for the moment, though, when I look at the map, it might have been beneficial if you zoomed out a little bit more so we could see a little bit more of the area around, like what is south of Arrowhead. Can't tell from the map. But Beecher is to the north, and there are lots along Beecher behind the subject. What is on those lots?
Which side are we talking about? On like.
I'm talking about the subject. I'm looking at your map.
Yep.
And on the north side, between the subject and Beecher Avenue, there's a string of lots along Beecher Avenue. What is that built up, or is it all vacant land, or what?
Well, there are homes over there. Some of them are vacant land.
Okay. Are they all contemporary with the subject property, or are those older homes?
That I haven't done any research on that one.
Okay. Here's what I'm getting at. I mean, is Beecher essentially an older street that predated these subdivisions around here? And are those older homes not contemporary at all with the subject? And does that have any influence on the value of the subject?
Yeah, but if I'm then there's also 11 Northmount, which is very close to Beecher.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at that, the sales prices, I don't see any impact of being an old neighborhood because there are significantly newer houses in that area too. From around 2000 onwards.
So those are large lots adjacent to Comp 4 on Beecher. Are there large homes on those lots?
There are homes, so some of, I mean, as if I mean, so the applicant submitted some list for the comparables too. What I see on the Beecher Avenue, the homes, they are built in 1954, 1975, kind of thing. They do have a significantly bigger lot sizes.
Mm-hmm. But not necessarily modern large homes, large lots with older, smaller homes on it that are characteristically different than what is in Northmount Cove, for instance?
Yeah, then because it wasn't part of the comparable list, so I did not particularly pick and choose which ones on Beecher are new ones.
Okay.
So I won't be able to give you an answer that, like if they are newly done or not.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry.
That's all right. No, that's all my questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Oreski. Do you have any sales information, MLS, on your comparisons? Description.
Yeah. So like, do you want me to read out all of these?
Yeah, just summarize, and we just like to have an idea of
Okay.
I'm sorry, I'm not sure if somebody asked the question. But what is your best comparable?
Yes, so as I mentioned earlier, I would like you to use all of these as my best comparable because they're all same.
Right, okay. So yeah,
Um,
just the highlights. I'm just trying to get an idea of the type of homes. Thank you.
Sure, so now 50 Verona Cove, built by Kensington Homes. It has a modern layout, gas fireplace, water ceilings, hardwood floors. It has, but it doesn't have a basement finish on the property. Okay, so that is obviously a downward adjustments, sorry, upward adjustment needed for a subject. Then going to 471 Soiles. So now this home also, now it was built same neighborhood as the subject. It's a 2-story, 1,771 square feet. Same thing, it has those basic cabinets that comes with the build. It has basic flooring, which is vinyl and laminate. It has an open concept home, fence yard, and it does have a finished basement. And then 42 Centera. And none of them has mentioned any upgrades to the homes since the build. So, and I don't see any upgrades too. Now Centera, this is also a 2-story home. It has hardwood floors, maple cabinetry, quartz countertops. It had a deck built in 2018. The finished basement was done in 2020 with drop ceiling, pot lights, and the upgrades that are listed down here are only the shingles here that was done in 2020 for this property. And it has a finished basement, as already mentioned, 17 to 36 square feet. And my last comparable is 11 North Mount. So this is also built by Kensington Homes. It was, it has 1,878 square feet as a living area with 3.5 bathrooms, fully finished basement. They have new laminate flooring and new carpet, sump pump, and hot water tank. All of these things were done in 2020. These are the only upgrades listed down for those properties. Yeah.
And to the best of your knowledge, are any of the comps 1 through 4 were they show homes?
Not mention anything regarding show homes on any of this listing, so yes and no.
Thank you. Mr. Restall, if you would like to proceed with your brief.
Sure, I will not take up too much time. So what I had provided was I used that sales book for 2023 because I thought that was the only book we could use. So I didn't provide it for 19 Arrowhead or the other Swales property. But these were listed as single detached 2-story houses in the sales book. And they are mostly around my house. Some of them are on the slightly on the on that map from Mr. Assessor. There's my house, the subject house. Then south of that is Templeton, and then some of these streets like Attaché, Amanda Crescent, those are in that area right across Templeton. Same thing with Envoy. I felt that these should all be included. I know there is an age disparity between the year built, but generally those homes with an older year built, they've been more recently upgraded, as well as they have much larger lot sizes than mine, which Mr. Assessor has stated is an impact in the assessment value. Such as, I think, there's one of which I believe it's Envoy, has a lot size more than double mine. And a much larger and about say a larger square footage as well. And I don't have was unable to get the MLS listing for that, but if I may recall, it was advertised as being like need renovations, newer renovations and features to it. But I guess in kind of summarize it, I'm thinking that based off these comparables of the neighborhood from the sales book of 2023, I broke down the numbers to show what kind of like the average adjusted is. I'd say my house, because it is newer and we have done our best to keep it up to date and without having anything still out there, that we are a bit over the average. I would say that the market assessed value between like 510, 520 would be more than reasonable, because we haven't done anything to upgrade the house since we bought it. The people we bought it from, they did not do anything to upgrade the house since they bought it. We are going to have to get new shingles because of the hailstorm, and that's where we slated for spring, but apparently that doesn't really go into any sort of assessment. So that's my thoughts on everything, and I'm happy to answer any questions because I don't know what you want to know.
Do I have a question?
Yeah, just a few questions to the applicant. So I see, I mean, I did see the list that you sent out for the evidence. I went through every single of them individually. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, so 79 Amanda Crescent, where the listed property here, it's sold for 580,000. The time registered sales price for that one is $556,800. And the adjusted sales price per square feet is $268.99. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And that's also building 2001, and the square footage is pretty much very similar to yours.
Yeah.
So 2070, that's what's here.
Yes.
Were you aware of that property, that the basement is not finished on that property?
I was not aware, but I did see that there were other things that they had improved based on the MLS listings, such as a jacuzzi, new windows in 2021. Hot water tank furnace, I believe, in 2011.
Yeah.
They have a full patio built out. Those type of things, which again, I thought it was attached to kind of like the sales price, and those things I know as a person who bought a home in this last decade were considerations that, you know, was worth more because of them.
Yeah, no, I mean, as I did kind of went through it, so I would find your comparable here, which is on Amanda Crescent here, 79 Amanda, to be precisely very similar to yours, except for, yeah, they did some of it. I'm not gonna deny that they had, but the main thing is they don't have a finished basement, which does impact the sales price of the property.
I would state that I was not able to find any pictures of the basement in 79 Amanda, and I do know that people can have a nearly finished basement and it would still be considered an unfinished basement.
I
It
mean,
would still be usable for everything. It's not just like a shelf or storage.
no, I agree to that, but the point is, right now, on the facts that we're basing it, even the MLS shows me an unfinished basement here. Like I have it in front of me right now, so it's
Okay.
totally unfinished.
Yeah, like I said, I didn't have any
So-
pictures of it, so.
So even based on that, would you agree, like a basement would need a upward kind of adjustments to your, like, the property that it value more? A basement finish?
Based off what you were telling me earlier, you were saying that not really. That was my understanding of our discussion earlier, where you were saying that there are certain things when they renovate it, if it's won't really have a positive impact on the value or the assessed value. Not the market value, but the assessed value. Like
Yeah.
myself buying a house, if the basement is finished, it is worth more to me than an unfinished basement.
Yeah, that's. And then I see that there is also those same properties that I listed down in my evidence are also on the list.
Yes,
And the other ones, the other property that we discussed here on your brief here, they're all of them are older homes.
yeah, and as I stated, that there were other things that I
Yeah.
believe would impact the value of it, because a larger lot is desirable for people.
But can you also agree with me that houses in this list, when you break it down into the ones which are similar to your age, are selling for the similar prices as the assessed value?
If you're going purely based off of the year built, yes, but I would add that like those houses that are being sold right now, they are having more upgrades to them to make them more sellable and make the market price go up. And like I stated, my wife and I, we have not done any upgrades to our house. The previous owners did not do any either. It's as it was when the builder built it in 2008.
So that's why, I mean, we don't have any, it is what we are, we're assessing it as a 2006 home. Nothing more, nothing less than that.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are the questions from us, right?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Seelan?
Yes, Mr. Applicant, can you tell me what the best closest comparable is that you have to your subject property?
I would believe it would be the house that was across my street, that 19 Arrowhead. That was from the 2021 book. It was not in the documents I provided because, as I stated, I thought it was limited to the 2023 book and that had fallen off. But it is literally across the street, like one over on the left. It's about the same size of a house. I knew the owners that had been in the house, or knew the previous owners that had been in the house. So I would say that would have been approximate, but I do know that when they were selling it, they were fixing things up to try and get the most price out of it. The other houses around there, that one, Cassia Cove, that was built older, so it's not around the same year, but again, it's a larger lot size. From, I believe, I had is that the right one? I had the MLS listing. But it didn't say, well, sorry, that may be the wrong property. 6 Cassia Cove, built the same year, slightly smaller. So that would be a good assessment. And that came in at about $252 a square foot. Price adjusted.
Which properties, sir?
6 Cassia Cove.
Oh, thank you.
That one has air conditioning, has a fireplace, attached garage, finished basement. So it's the printout from the property assessments, kind of identical to mine.
Can I make a comment if possible?
Yes, go ahead.
It's just regarding 6 Cassia Cove, that this subject just mentioned. Sorry, applicant just mentioned, this is a private sale. And I tried to pull up information on it, we sent down mailers to them, they haven't responded to us. So we're not sure if this is an arm's length transaction or not at this time. Because the buyer and vendor looks pretty similar as per the surnames.
Okay. Mr. Applicant, do you have another property that you consider the second best comp?
Second best comp. Let me just take a look at my list. For built around the same age as my house. No, I don't, because the other ones that were built around the same time, they were advertised as having renovations done and everything. So they would have been more upgraded than my house is as it currently is.
What would you say the current condition is of your house?
I would say that it is kind of above average for the area. Like I said, we're going to have to redo the shingles because of the hailstorm, but that's not being done by insurance till next year. Ourselves and the previous owners have done our best to keep it up to date. It's one of those things like, it's so getting to be an older house, so driveways cracking. There luckily have been no foundation issues. It's one of those windows we're probably going to have to replace within the next decade, but I know that's not really a thing to be considered. But we do our best to keep it up to date, and that's why I'd say it's like slightly above average for the area. And what else? Because I know you were talking about the houses on Beecher, because it is my behind my house. It's kind of a mix. So the house immediately behind me is a single-story house, detached with a detached garage. The one kind of right next to it is a really big two-story house. I've never been in it, but it's with a built-out deck and everything like that. So it really is a mix of properties along there. And then like my street, all the houses kind of built the same, but immediately on Beecher, that my house is kind of that divide where it's kind of like newer houses to the right, older houses to the left.
Based on your information and your presentation, what is the assessment value that you're looking for with your current home?
As I said before, I'm thinking about 510, 520 in that range would be reasonable. Because as I said, based off the houses I have here, the average price per square foot is about 236 after adjustment, which would put my house at 495. And like I said, my house, I feel that it's about a bit above average because we've done well at maintaining it. That's what I'm thinking about 510, 520.
Thank you, I appreciate it. That's all. Any questions, Madam Chair?
Thank you. Mr. Boreski?
Since the assessor was essentially sort of rebutting some of these properties that were provided by the applicant, if you don't mind, I'd like to ask the assessor about these, and also likely because he's got more data on them anyway, and he said that he had gone through this list. So you've already told us about 6 Cassia Cove. What do you know about 42 Sunterra? And is that reasonably comparable or not?
Yeah, 42 Centera was one of my comparables too.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm only looking at this list now, not cross-referencing.
Yeah.
All right, so that's fine.
Yeah.
What about 459 Swales?
459 Swales, it's yeah, it's a very similar house to 474 Swales. It's also a basic built. As there hasn't been any upgrades. It was built in 2008. It's 1712 square feet, sold in 2001. The time adjustment for that property is 502,600. And just give me a second. I did write down this property.
Is there anything about it that makes it a bad comparable?
Yeah, only the square footage I would say is different, but
Okay.
apart from that,
Okay. And then what about 474 Swales?
same thing.
Okay, that's all my questions then.
They're both the same square footage almost, so.
Thank you. I just have a couple of questions, Mr. Restall. You've stated a couple of times that your house is above average for the area.
I'd say the condition of the house is above average.
Correct. So do you have hardwood floors in your house?
No, we have those like slide planks in the, yeah.
Click floors?
Yeah, the click floors,
Yeah.
and that's in the that's on the main floor in that front. So it goes vinyl, then there's like the plank, and then the plank in the dining room.
Okay. And in your kitchen, do you have any quartz countertops?
No, it's just the stock one that was done by the builder, just the normal, like. I don't know what material.
Platform?
Yeah, I think that would be what it's called.
And to the best of your knowledge, was your house a show home?
To my knowledge, it was not.
Thank you, that's all my questions.
Okay.
And, do you have a wish for a submission?
No, presented my case, thank you.
Okay.
Mr. Russell?
No, but if I may add one thing, but Mr. Assessor was saying that there was nothing for these swales properties that made them stick out different. For one of them, 459, it's in the documentation, the MLS listing, that there was renovations that we talked about earlier.
Like, I mean, when we're talking about renovation, it's like what kind of renovation?
Well, in this
Because
case,
what I saw is they changed their vinyl plank, they had vinyl plank before, they just replaced it in
Yeah.
2019. And they did change their furnace and new hot water tank. And they changed carpet in the second floor. I wouldn't say this like they changed the overall condition of the home. I would just merely say that it was worn out. They just replaced it with the same kind of thing.
okay.
I mean, that's what the listing suggests.
Yeah, no, like I said, just going based off that, and it's one where you have knowledge of how those impact the assessment. I just go based off the market data that we're told to. So,
Thank you.
thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thank you for coming into Mr. Russell.
Have a good day.
Have a good day.
Panel, do you have a need for a short break or are you all right?
I'm not sure how many more we have to deal with.
Technically,
Did you say two?
And are, in that case, are applicants present for both of those two?
no, just one.
Okay, I could carry on.
All right. See?
Sure. If it's, sure,
Definitely.
thanks.
I'd like to swear the applicant. So, please stand. Please state your full name.
Robert Allen Lucky.
Do you affirm that the evidence you're about to present at this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mr.
We are going to move on to item number 9, 35 North March Lane. And Mr. Nguyen, whenever you are ready.
Madam Chair, so subject property in discussion, the roll number is 0500-919-2500. The street address is 35 North Mount Cove. It's in the neighborhood of Templeton, St. Clair. It is a 2-story built in 2006. It has a living area of 1,486 square feet. The basement, it has a full basement foundation, but it's not finished. It has 1 full bath, 2 half bath, 1 shower. It has a central AC. It has a attached multiple garage. The assessed lot size for the property is 6,375 square feet. 2025 assessment for subject property is 447,000. And the total assessment per square feet is 300.81 per square feet. The comparables I presented are all in the same neighborhood as the subject. They are all 2-story homes built between 2006 and 2010. The living area is ranging from 1,501 square feet to 1,771 square feet. They all have full basement foundation with finished basements. They have central AC. Only comp 2 has 1 fireplace. They all have the same attached multiple garages. The lot size is ranging from 3,632 square feet to 5,265 square feet. Comp 1 is a corner lot property, internal corner, and comp 2 is commercial adjacent land influence. The time adjusted sales price for the comparables is ranging from 507,800 to 575,000. The time adjusted sales price per square feet is ranging from 305.99 to 341.51 per square feet. As we can see, the assessment is significantly lower than the comparables. So I would like to recommend the board to maintain the current assessment at 447 for the subject property. Thank you.
Thank you. And Mr. Lucky, questions to the assessment?
Were you in the subject? Were you in the subject house?
No, I did not inspect the subject house.
Has anybody been in there recently?
I don't see any inspection being done recently.
Sorry, the reason I asked, I said to you in the hall, I told them to get an assessor in there, but I guess they didn't, or weren't able to. So,
I have no notes or knowledge that they had any conversation with any kind of staff
okay.
prior to the hearing.
So your comparable number one. Obviously, there would be no adjustment for condition.
Yeah. So I did not use that. It is, when I'm looking at the conformity to 650 squares, we can see it's a 2010 built. So it is slightly better than the subject. Not a whole lot of difference. It has kind of, it is well maintained. That's what I can say about that.
And then, is there, I'm trying to get I don't know how this works, so that's why I'm asking. So your comparables, is there any adjustment for no basement finished in the subject? But all four of these have finished basements.
In my, when we present this case, we don't kind of break down in adjustments.
Okay.
So this is what the sale prices and time adjusted sales prices for the comparables are here. That's what they sold for with the finished basement. And then when I'm making my analysis, I'm looking at the subject property, which has no basement finish. So just sort of idea how much, if the basement property, how much would that be adjusted downwards?
Okay.
But looking at that, when I see that there is a huge difference in the assessment and the time adjusted sales price for the properties that I'm listing down. So that's why my analysis was, okay, so the total assessment per square feet is significantly lower than the comparables, even though they have a finished basement. Even if you downward adjust those, it's still supported, I believe.
Well, they're all larger than the subject too.
Yeah, not all of them. I would say 2 and 3 are significantly about 250, 300 square feet bigger than the subject.
Okay.
But comp 4, which is about only 15 square feet different.
Okay.
It also kind of went for a higher amount, although it has a smaller lot size.
So just on the condition, it'll make more sense when I go through mine. But the listing for sale number 1, it states well maintained, nothing to do but move in and enjoy. Fabulous family home. So is that the kind of information that you have for this property?
Yeah, that's I got this information from MLS.
Oh, okay.
So
And then sale number 2, which I guess we both have. It says on the listing, this former show home features 5 bedrooms, flex space, finished lower level, perfect for large families, cozy open concept main floor, living room. Don't show homes normally have upgraded finishings?
they usually do. But it also depends on how much different, because I did see that you also listed down this as a comparable and you adjusted downwards for that property too. So when I'm looking at it at a show homes, I'm seeing who basically built it. Who was the owner of that property? So in my analysis, when I was comparing pictures with the picture that you submitted for the subject, there were a few pictures there, so. Yeah, it was, 459 dollars would be an upgraded home as compared to the subject, but that reflects in the sale price as well.
Right,
It's sold for a significantly higher amount, $575.
so it is siding and brick you can see on the outside.
Yeah.
Okay, and then. Number 3, this gorgeous 2-story home is nestled in a quiet family neighborhood, well maintained by the original owners. As you enter the home, you'll be impressed by the spacious entranceway, high ceilings, natural light. Same kind of thing. I mean, agents aren't gonna say that it shows terrible.
No, sorry, Mr. Lucky, did you have a question?
Well, I wanna get at the condition, so I'm asking him about the conditions of these homes, which I have a listing for.
Yeah, I mean, I would say 474 is also a good condition home.
Right, okay. And then finally. In the listing here, we have this immaculate home is situated on a quiet cul-de-sac.
Excuse me, Mr. Lucky, which home are you talking about?
His sale number 4.
Okay, thank you.
Stepping into this impeccable home, you will not only notice the tasteful decorating, but the desirable layout and abundance of updates. So same kind of thing. We'll agree that all 4.
Yeah. If you're comparing it in terms of condition, yeah, all 4 would be slightly better in condition.
Right.
But as I've also mentioned that. This also reflects in their sale prices too. I'm not contesting the condition of the property here. What I'm trying to put a point forward is. The assessed value for 35 North Mountain Cove. Is significantly lower than the comparables. That reflects the difference in size, different.
Right.
basic
We'll get to that, yeah.
conditions. So I've considered all these things when I was taking into factor that. Something might be on the lower end, but it is way on the lower.
So. In terms of. These 4 sales you chose.
Yeah.
I'm just curious why, like, for example. Sale number 4, you had to go all the way back to October of 2020. Like, there's lots of recent sales in the area.
Yeah, but I would find. I pull them up because they can be included. It's not like they cannot be. They're still within the 36 months time period.
So 36 months is the
Yeah.
rule, or?
It's not the rule, but it's the assessment practice. You can still go back as to 3 years.
But wouldn't it be better, rather than making these huge time adjustments? To use current sales?
It's what the point was, if I'm looking at the square footage of the property,
Right,
that's one of the clauses I have. So I don't have to adjust it for time. I don't have to adjust it for the age. I don't have to adjust it for the living area for the property. The lot size is smaller, that's the only difference between the property. There might be some adjustment downwards for the condition of the property, but apart from that, that's one of the good comps. In terms of the size of the building.
so it's the reason that you went back this far isn't because this is a high sale per square foot.
Yeah, no, my analysis is not based on sales price per square feet. Because if I use them, some of the properties are 1,700 square feet. The sales price per square feet will be skewed up or down, because there's a difference, right? If the square footage of the prices, the square footage of the subject and comp are similar, then you can analyze the assessment per square feet or the sales price per square feet. Because if there's higher sales price, the deal will be different between the per square foot thing.
Okay, so, two things, well, one item, but two. Is on sale number one, you have internal corner.
Yeah.
So is that an adjustment?
No, there's no adjustments, it's just for records.
So it's just, like, it's not negative being on the inside corner, is it?
Yeah, we don't have any facts or numbers to suggest that it does not give you any kind of negative or positive impact. This just showed that it's a corner lot.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it's not a.
It's not,
adjustment.
yeah, there's no adjustments.
So then what about the commercial adjacent, is there adjustment for that?
Usually it depends on what kind of adjustments, what kind of adjacent property there is. We're talking about 459 Swedies here.
I can't really tell what it backs on, something on Carrier.
Yeah, so it's private owned lands. Some are industrial, some. Yeah, they're all industrial, vacant land, or some are
So like.
has small building on there.
Small and owner industrial kind of.
Yeah, but I mean,
Somebody parks a
yeah.
truck there or something.
most
Okay.
of them has degree on them, but nothing specific out there.
But isn't it true? I think, it's been the topic all the way along today. I mean, the big problem or issue is the sewage treatment plant right behind here. Like you could hit a golf ball, I think, from, well, I couldn't, but a good golfer could, from the subject and hit the north end sewage treatment plant.
Yeah, I mean, as I've already discussed that in the previous area
Yeah.
too, because when you look at my map of the comps here, they all are kind of in a very close proximity, like
Right.
walking distance, right? So if the sewage plant has some kind of negative influence from the smell,
Right.
it's gonna impact all these properties.
Yeah, that's what I was getting
So-
at. So this commercial or inside corner, it's not, they're all dealt with the same here.
They all dealt with this.
They all have the sewage, and there's no adjustment for the fact that it's next to a sewage treatment plant.
No, not at this time, because usually when we have to put something on record, that property has to be directly impacting the property. Which means that it has to be adjacent to a home to put it on record. There's no subjective adjustments right now. We cannot determine how much impact that does it have in terms of value for each property.
Okay.
Mr. Montgomery.
I think I am, yeah, thanks.
Mr. Sealand, did you have any questions for the assessor?
Yes, Mr. Rahan, can you tell me if you inspected any of these comparable properties recently?
No, I did not inspect any of the properties.
So your comments about the conditions, what do you base your comments on with respect to the condition of them?
My comments are basically based on the MLS listings of these properties. As I mentioned earlier too, we don't have, like, sometimes we do go out and do inspections on the subject, but not on the comparables itself. So we kind of based our analysis on the MLS photos. Obviously, we read the description. Sometimes, as you know, the agent will kind of write down whatever they want in terms of selling point. But when there are enough pictures present, then we kind of make our judgment on that condition wise.
If I asked you to give me your top comparable to the subject property, which is the top?
Well, I would say the top one would be, there's two I would like to mention. One of
Sure.
them would be 30 Cassia Cove, as I've already mentioned that It is similar in terms of size, build. It has a finished basement, that's the only difference. But the lot size is smaller. And then 660 Swaley's Avenue, which is also closer in terms of square footage. It has same bathroom count as the subject. It has same features, but the lot size is significantly smaller. So 1 and 4 would be my best comps.
Thank you. That's all my questions, Madam Chair.
Thank you. And Mr. Boraski?
I don't have any, thank you.
I do not have any either. Mr. Lucky, if you'd like to proceed, we could.
Sure. I draw your attention to this appraisal. The owner of the property, Tim Tomchuk, is a brother of a friend of mine. Stan Tomchuk, I work with as an appraiser. But I didn't really know Tim, the owner, until I looked at this, and my friend said, have a look at my brother's house. I think the assessment's too high, and he's an appraiser too. So anyway, there's no compensation. I did it as a favor for a friend, and this would be just a typical report like we would do for a bank, estimating the value top of as of April 1st, 2023. Under neighborhood, you know, we don't want to beat this to death. It's next to the north end sewage treatment plant. The lot is larger. I don't have a site plan here, I'm sorry, but it shows in a little bit better on the assessor's map. The front of the lot is very narrow, so the house is well set back. So the square footage is larger, but it's a long kind of point. It's not a kind of a nice pie shape. So they have a little garden there, and then the rest of the yard, their dogs just run around. But it's not, like I said, you basically have a driveway in the front, and then there's a long point to the back. But anyway, it's per square footage, it's a larger lot. The landscaping, when I looked at it, it was snow, but there was nothing. Nothing even really shrubs or anything. It's a basic house, and I'll get to the condition. It's been well lived in, absolutely, for sure. They bought the house brand new, and I'll get to that. It's 2006. Well, this is page page 205. The actual age is 2006, and I called it effective age 20 years old. It's had a hard life. Shows all the layout. Under basement finish, there's absolutely no basement finish. The walls aren't even drywall, there's just plastic over the insulation, and some of that's fallen out. The typical 22 by 22 double attached garage. And the bottom of this page, I'll read it. The subject property was built by Kensington Homes, a budget home builder, and this home was finished with modest finishing throughout the inside note. The present owners bought the home new in 2006 and have not completed any upgrading or decorating since moving in 18 years ago. The home shows very worn, requiring flooring, decorating, and could use upgrading to the bath and kitchen. Because of the modest finish inside note, the finishing wore out quicker than normal. At the time of inspection, there was no smell from the sewage treatment plant. But that depends on the winds, and it's under construction and that type of thing. They have, I think, at least 3 big dogs, a bunch of cats, 2 children that are adults living there. And I compared it to 3 sales as close as I could to the reference period. The first one is in Parkway Village, which there probably should have been a location adjustment because it's in a superior area and you're not near the sewage treatment plant. It was mainly custom built homes in Parkway Village. But the reason I chose it was because it was the only one that didn't need a condition adjustment. I thought the fact that it didn't have a lot of upgrading and it was older, that it could be compared for condition. I mean, the houses in Parkway Village are custom built, so this one has brick front and superior quality construction. And then the other 2, 459 Swales has showed up a whole bunch of times. It's a nice house in great condition. And I felt that it would require about $70,000 to put the subject into similar condition. Same as, you know, the other major adjustment was basement development. We normally use, depending on the basement finish, depending on the size of finish, but 35,000 is a basic finish. And then they normally go up from there. Anyway, based on these sales, I have a range of $268 a square foot to $280 a square foot, which comes to 415,000. I've included some pictures. I'm not sure you get them in color or black and white or not. The front of the house, it's basic stucco. It's all stained around the windows. The back picture, same thing. It's the stucco's all stained. It's a partially completed deck, no railings. Yeah, here's the basement. The plastic's falling off, so the insulation. That's what all I have to say on that.
All right, thank you. Serena, questions?
Yes, Madam Chair, I just have a question there. So Did you, were you able to do any inspection on these comparables?
Well, when I go on MLS, you on average have about 40 pictures. So I obviously looked at all the pictures.
And I see for the, I'm just talking about comp one right now, which is 34 Bollinger Bay.
Right.
I see that you applied downward adjustment of 35,000 for the basement.
Right.
Like, did you review the photos for the basement for this property? Are you aware how much of it is finished?
I from memory, I can't say I did that. I did the appraisal back in
So for Fardinja Bay, I would like to just mention to the board. If it's a full basement, that's $35,000 is fair, reasonable downward adjustment, it's fine. But for this comparable basement, finished part is only a rec room of that, and even that part has no flooring on it. And there's there's nothing else in the basement apart from that. So I would just say 35,000 is might be pretty high for that. And then also, it is a very old home as compared to the subject.
right.
So. And I see there's no adjustments done for the age of the house.
Well, what I tried to explain was it's an older house, but it's in better condition and it was built better than the subject. So I thought it was a push. That was my opinion.
And then like. Well, what better condition does it have? I mean, are there any deficiencies with the subject property at this time?
Oh, it's completely worn out. It needs new everything. Okay, that's why I was hoping somebody would get in there.
But there is like, the foundation is fine.
The foundation seems fine. I'm not a engineer, but the carpet, you know, it's like this thick. And that's worn out and badly stained.
What I see for 34 Farlanger in the photos here is a 1981 home, correct me if I'm wrong. And the subject is built in 2006.
Right.
That's a huge difference of, I believe, 25 years between them. The only thing upgraded in their home is some exterior work and flooring. But apart from that, I don't see any improvements done to their home.
Well, it sounds like it's got new decorating inside with modern colors. And it has flooring and the outside is like almost solid brick. You know, ours has got basic stucco that's all stained. Like this one looks better in being built in 1981 than the subject does.
As I say, I mean, I'm just saying what it looks like to me, because
Okay.
25 years old, the kitchen cabinets are from 1980s. They just repainted them. As seen in the photos of MLS, they have the same, the only thing I see change is they changed the new laminate countertops of the kitchen, and the flooring is new. They've got some new pot lights, but still it's pretty old. But that's just my opinion. But now for the second one, which is 18 Verona Code, you adjusted for the age and condition of $45,000 downwards.
Right.
Although the age is pretty similar, but only for condition 45,000. Is it like, is it very superior? 18 Verona? I mean, it is in good condition, but 45,000 is, I
Well,
believe.
45,000 goes really quick. Like I built a 10 by 10 deck, it cost $10,000. Like flooring, everything.
Yeah.
It costs a fortune.
No, but I mean, what I'm seeing is,
That's not a lot of money.
it's a basic build, that's what I see in the MLS. I don't see any highly upgraded item or features to the home, so that's why I was just asking.
Yeah, I don't have all the interior pictures here, I don't have my computer, but when I looked at it. Like what we do is we look at the house. And I've been doing it 40 years. I just got my certificate from the Appraisal Institute. So you try and look at the house the best you can, the way that a purchaser would. That's what we try and do. And if the purchaser looks at it, some people will go, well, we can do all this work ourselves and it might only cost us 20. Somebody else is going, well, I can't do anything. This is going to cost us 100 grand or 75 grand or who knows what. So we kind of average that and try and look at how a purchaser would look at it. And when I talked to the guy that I work with, who's also an appraiser, I said, what do you think about the value of 415? You said, I don't think it wouldn't sell. Like people coming in there and they look at all this, they go, oh my, like this is, let's look at the next one. So 45,000, it's a lot of money, but really not. When you have to redo a house inside.
Any more questions?
Yeah, just one more question. You mentioned that it's worn out, the subject property.
Right.
Right, so. When I'm looking at photos here. I mean, is it all carpeted, the subject property? But there is wooden flooring over there.
No hardly. It's that in the kitchen, it's that cheap rolled linoleum.
Oh, that could count, okay.
Like when they bought the house, they went the cheapest they could because they only had so much money. They wanted as much house for as cheap as they could, and they went basic everything. The carpeting, it doesn't show up in the pictures. That's why if an assessor walked through, they could see it, and it's the thinnest pile carpeting you can buy, and then that's worn out.
Yeah, that's the reason for me.
But like the picture of the living room carpet, these aren't just stains, like this is like right through the carpet.
That's all for my questions, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Mr. Boraski?
I'm looking at your adjustments. Where did the figures come from?
Which ones?
All of your adjustments. How were they derived?
Basically, from the market. What we believe, how the prospective purchaser would look at the property.
Sorry, but what is the evidence that these are from the market?
Well, I'm just telling you that. That's all. I don't. What do you
This
mean?
is just so these are subjective evaluations.
Right. Yes.
Okay.
These are normal numbers that we use. 5,000 for a fireplace. This 3,000 for the electric fireplace, had a feature wall. So we, normally electric fireplaces don't add much, especially if you can unplug them, then they are worth nothing.
And so these numbers are a market modified cost? Are they, where did they come from originally?
Well, I mean, cost is a factor. But mainly, like I said, we try and look at what a prospective purchaser would say. And some people don't care what the landscaping's like, and other ones are going, we're gonna have to do all this work, we're gonna have to bring in bushes and flower beds and everything else. So it's kind of an average.
Okay, so then take the first comparable.
Okay.
It's sold just a few weeks before the reference date for $453,000.
Right.
It is larger than the subject. So the fact that it is bigger by whatever percentage this is, you then take that value off the sale price to equate it to the subject. Is that correct?
Right.
Okay, so you're taking all of these figures off, and in total, 54,000 to equate it to the sale price. But that home is 43 years old. Then comparable number 2 sold virtually the same time, 541. It's only 15 years old. And I'm not understanding then, why do the adjustments add up to 124,000 in that case, where it's a younger house?
Well, I mean, you got 90,000 when you consider the condition and the basement development.
And the fact that the subject has an undeveloped basement.
Right. Like to develop basements, if you have to pay, you're looking now somewhere around $65,000 to $75,000 for a good quality basement like these are.
Mm-hmm.
I think the builders, well, it entirely depends how big your basement is and what level of finish you want.
Right. And so what you're saying is then that in order to really equate these comparables, the value of those differences between them individually and the subject has to be accounted for, and then you minus the sale price by that amount, and that gives you what the adjusted, in your case, the adjusted sale price would be. Is that correct?
Right. This would be I would have had to do a cost approach, but if I was doing this appraisal for any bank, it would look exactly like this.
Uh-huh.
And they would expect to see these things. The problem is when you have a house at this end of the scale, everything looks lopsided. If we had a house at the other end of the scale, we wouldn't be here because the assessment would be low.
Uh-huh.
And I mean, there's nothing in it for me. I mean, I'm just stating the facts and the way I see them. If I didn't think, if I thought the assessment was fair, I wouldn't be here.
The subject last sold when?
They bought it brand new.
18 years ago.
Right.
Okay. And you're saying that it is in relatively worn condition then.
It's in really rough shape. There's no other way to put it.
Okay. All right, that's all my questions.
Thank you. Mr. Seelan?
Sure, just a second. So your choices for these three comparables is based on the date of sale?
Well, I wanted to be relatively close to the reference of April 1st, 2023.
And Farling, your bay, what neighborhood is it in?
It's a different neighborhood. It's further west and it's custom built houses.
And what neighborhood is that at? This western.
I'm sorry?
Sorry, what neighborhood is west? Which neighborhood is it specifically?
Well, it's called Parkway Village is the specific neighborhood, but I don't know what all the categories the city has. These are the same. These are the same MLS numbers, 4F. So same MLS areas. Different subdivision names. I don't know what you would call the subject.
Is it Old Kildonan?
Yeah, right.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, Old Kildonan would be the best.
Mhm.
But this is just a pocket of kind of modest builder homes.
The condition of the floors, is it worn right through to the plywood?
Not quite.
No, okay.
But the plywood, it's not at the plywood, but I mean the thing that gets you is I mean that's their home, that's the way they live, you know, it's just what it is. And they're nice people. They're just I go in all kinds of houses, you know, immaculate ones that have been beat down, and we try and make adjustments for them the best we can.
Thank you. That's all my questions, Madam Chair.
Thank you. And I have no questions since. Thank you. Wish for submission?
Yeah, just want to summarize my presentation, Madam Chair. So I'd like to kind of bring the comps again. I present comps from the same neighborhood as the subject with similar square footage, similar effective year of build. And we can see that the comps are very higher in time adjusted sales price as per the assessment is very low. And it is being assessed at 2006 home. And what the applicant has presented is, yes, the condition of the home is worn out, but it's more of the maintenance work and kind of how well maintained the home is. Nothing major deficiencies in the home. So I believe 447 is pretty low and should be maintained by the board. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Just quickly, couple of things. If you look at a basement adjustment alone, that's $30 a square foot. If you look at $50,000 condition alone, that's another $30 a square foot. We're at $60 a square foot there. We're being compared to sale number 3 and sale number 4 were sold at under bidding wars. People overbid the sale prices. But one was listed for $474, the other and sold for $506. all honesty, there wouldn't be any bidding wars here. We're just, it's a tough house to appraise. It's a tough house to assess. And that's all I have to say. So thank you for your time and
Yes, thank you for your presentation, Mr. Wood. We're going to take a 5-minute recess at this point. I would like to call this hearing back to order. And our next item on the docket is number 10. And just to confirm, we have had no contact.
No.
And no files. No agreements filed.
No records.
We also do not have any contact. Thank you. So item number 10 is going to be moved to the end of the docket for now. We will move on to item number 11, 116 Palms Boulevard. You would like to swear in? Yep.
Ms. Applicant, please unmute and state your full name.
Did you hear me?
Yes, can you please state your full name?
My phone and
Your full name.
Siu Ho Chen.
Thank you. Do you affirm that the evidence you're about to give at this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Ms. Chan.
Yes.
Thank you for waiting.
It's okay.
You would like to proceed? Sure. Thank you, Madam Chair.
The roll number for the property is 14095073300. The address is 116 Palms Boulevard. It's in the neighborhood area of Tyndall Park. The building is cab over, single dwelling, built in 2001. The living area is 1,957 square feet. It has a full basement foundation with unfinished basement, 2 full baths, 1 half bath, 1 shower, no central AC. It has 1 fireplace attached, multiple garage. The assessed lot size is 10,555 square feet, and it has a retention pond adjacent land influence, which means it's backing directly onto the pond. The 2025 assessment is 502,000. The total assessment per square feet is 256.52 per square feet. The 4 comparables I'm presenting are all cab overs. Comp 1 is in the neighborhood of Amber Trails. Comp 2 and 4 are in Mandalay West, and Comp 3 is in Tyndall Park. All of the year of built for these comparables are ranging from 2000 to 2006. Living area is ranging from 1,437 square feet to 1,807 square feet. All of them has full basement foundation with finished basements. They all have similar bathroom counts as the subject. All of the property has central AC on their properties. Comp 1 and Comp 2 and 4 has a fireplace. All of them has a multiple attached garage with the property. The assessed lot size is ranging from 6,699 square feet to 9,582 square feet. Comp 1 has a bus route, light traffic, school influence. Comp 2 has a park, land influence. And Comp 4 has a commercial influence along with the rail spur. The time adjusted sales price is ranging from 530,500 to 604,700. The time adjusted sales price per square feet is ranging from 323.35 per square feet to 369.17 per square feet. And I would like to recommend the board to maintain the current assessment of 502. That will be all for the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Chan, did you have any questions to the assessor on the information he's provided?
Ms. Chan, you're on mute.
You're
Can you
muted.
hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we find that the taxes is a little bit high um for us. And we like to reduce it because there's lots of construction we have to make on that
Okay, Ms. Chan,
driveway.
excuse me, Ms. Chan. Right
Mhm.
now, you're just asking the assessor questions on what he has presented.
Oh,
And if you
is
don't
it the
have,
same location at the our area? The location like boulevard? Because some of the houses they are cost about 360,000 at the area for the single house. And our neighbor close to the is about 400 something thousand. They
So,
just bought it. Yeah.
so are you asking like my comparable that I presented are from the same neighborhood?
Like Tinto Park is not a big area. Like consider like the house is not that high from what I know in our boulevard that some people that sold the house. I did saw it 364,000 and the other one is 390,000
okay, Ms.
and
Chan.
our neighbor is a little
Sorry,
bit high.
Ms. Chan, did you hear what the assessor had stated about your house and the comparables? He gave you 4 comparables. Because
And
that's what you're asking questions on right now, on the information that he started with.
yeah, the houses that cost, right? And is it the same that they pay for the taxes? Assess like with others area?
I wouldn't be able to talk about the assessment of different areas. I can talk
Okay.
about the sales because the sales data here that I'm presenting.
Yeah,
and we can
504,000 for our house right now.
private. Yeah, you are assessed at 502,000.
500.
If you don't have any questions, that's
No.
fine at this point.
That's no question.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Seeland, did you have any questions to the assessor?
Yes, when it comes to building type, can you give me a definition of a cab over?
Yes, a cab over is basically where there's a certain area developed above a garage only, and there's no other, there's nothing else on, so there's no second developable area, second floor, apart from that.
Oh, so this is a single family dwelling with something built on top of the garage. Okay.
Right.
Would a person get to this through the garage or would they get to this through the house?
No, they can get access to the house, there's stairs, usually there's a huge master bedroom on top of the garages, so usually they only have to go about 7 or 6 stairs, and then you can have access to that part. But overall so the whole house does have kind of, it's a single floor house, but only that certain part of the house above garage has a second floor area.
Okay. Gotcha.
And in future, there is no developable area for second floor in that house, unless they redo the whole thing.
Mhm. Under land influences, you say there's retention pond adjacent. How does the retention pond affect the assessment?
In terms of a specific number, I won't be able to give you because I don't know how does it do it because it varies, depends on assessment. But it does have a significant positive impact on the assessment.
I've just been looking through your comps and they're quite variable. Tell me what your best comp is with respect to comparing to the subject property.
Yes, because the subject property was kind of in a very unique build in terms of cab over with 1,900 square feet, especially in 2001. So, and then obviously it's on the retention pond adjacent. So my initial consideration when I was selecting the comp was to find comparables which were cab over on the pond. Because the pond adjacent properties do sell for a higher market value than the ones which are not on the pond. So, but yet again, I couldn't find any pond retention lots or even adjacent ones. So my best comp would be the one at 19 Edgecombe, which is the same neighborhood as the subject. It's built at the same time. But as we can see, it's around 500 square feet smaller than the subject. But it has a finished basement and a significantly smaller lot. So that will be my best comp in terms of if I have to present it that way.
Okay, thank you. That's all my questions, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Mr. Boraski?
Yeah, again, I have trouble with your comps. This is probably as disparate a group as I've ever seen. So what are your priorities in picking these? They are so far apart. I mean, basically, I need some assurance that the potential buyer of the subject would be equally fine with buying any of these others in all of these other areas. Is that the case? Is this whole large region of the city essentially a single market area where people don't mind where they are?
No, it's not the case, but yet again, as I mentioned, when I was considering and searching for the comps for the subject property, my main elements were it has to be a cab over because cab over is a very different style than 2-story and 1-story, and even bi-levels, right? So because it only has a certain part finish on top of the garage. So that was one thing. Second thing was the square footage and the area of build. And then obviously the lot size was also a main factor because it is a 10,000 square feet lot on the pond. So these were the main elements when I was looking for the comps there. Now, yet again, in the same neighborhood, there were only one comp that I could find, which was significantly smaller. As we can see, 19 Edgecombe. But yet again, these different neighborhoods. So the one in Mandalay West is kind of a same name. I wouldn't say it's exactly same, but it's very similar to the subject neighborhood. The one on Amber Trails is, I believe, it's more higher in terms of market value. So that would not be my best comp, but that was the only sale I could present with this area of build, cab over, and the lot size that I had.
So you're saying that the cab over, again, it's the structure type, it's the cab over that you are looking for, and it drives the value, despite the fact that here, for instance, the subject is 2,000 square feet, comp 3 is only 1,400 square feet. So you're saying because it's a cab over, it's not going to matter to somebody whether they're getting 1,400 square feet or 2,000?
No, it will matter because now. So even if I'm comparing this with COM3, which is the same neighborhood as the subject. COM3 built in 2001, a cab over, so. If somebody is willing to buy 1,437 square feet for $580,999. Then the subject property is assessed at $502,000. With a significant higher square footage, and it's a pond retention lot. So. My consideration is if somebody is willing to pay that much for a significantly smaller home, then the assessment is, I believe, fair. Yet again, as I explained. So a cab over is a very different style to 2-story and 1-story. And it does have a significant market value impact on its own for the style of it.
And you're saying that people seek out that style? Like what, if I was to say, you know what, that was just the predominant style around the year 2000. Everything that was being built was a cab over because of the smaller lot size.
Yeah.
You would essentially disregard that and say, well, that's really what people want. They want it now for the given dollar that they're spending in the case of the subject. Their best comparables are also cab overs, not something that is not a cab over and has same square footage.
Yeah, I mean, so now for me, it wouldn't be difficult to pull up any house with 1,900 square feet. I could have easily find a 2-story home. But it would have been a very different market value for that house as compared to a cab over.
Did you look at ones that were on, say, that retention pond that were around 2,000 square feet and sold?
Not all of them.
Okay. Another question. Comp 3 is close to Inkster Boulevard. None of the comps have any land influence that the 3 one, sorry, number 3 doesn't have anything an influence because of the traffic, say, on Inkster. Is that significant or not?
Well, number 3 is not directly backing onto the Inkster.
Uh-huh.
So that's why there's no land influence.
Would you hear the noise of Inkster from there?
You have a lot of noises.
I believe you could.
Ah.
But yet
Okay.
again, traffic is a negative,
close.
which.
Okay, then let's look at number 4, comp 4. What is behind it?
Just give me a second. So it's an industrial lot.
And what goes on there?
I wouldn't know about that at this time.
Okay. Another one of the land influences on this one is railway spur.
Yeah.
Is that the line that goes diagonally from the bottom of the map to the top?
Yes.
I would certainly question whether that's a spur. That certainly looks like something that is more of a normal subdivision. Do you know anything about that line? How much traffic it has?
Yeah, I don't have any information on that. It's just it's feed it into the data, so I'm not sure how much traffic would it.
Okay.
We have a lot of aeroplane.
It's just for the assessor to
Yes.
answer now.
Okay.
Thanks.
Okay.
Is there a difference in the valuation done through the modeling between a spur and a rail line?
It could be not. I'm not sure. But I believe there might be a negative adjustment for that.
Okay. Comp number 2. Is that a lane that is behind it? Immediately behind it?
Just give me a second. You're asking, is the lane behind it? Is that correct?
My question is there a lane? There's a narrow lot. Is that a lane?
No, it's just a park. It's just a green space.
So there, you do see a subdivided line though there, don't you?
Yeah, but it's so right behind it is, there's no road over there. There's just green space. I do see a subdivided lot,
Okay.
but it's just green space with trees and bushes, nothing else.
And you also see a larger subdivided lot that looks like a right of way that goes from southwest to northeast and then arcs around. Is that a used right of way for either road or railway?
So that's zoned as agricultural land, but it's vacant.
Okay. So from the back of Comp 2's lot, it is just green space
Just green
for
space.
some distance.
Yes.
Okay. And that is called park. Is it actually used as a park or is it just vacant land?
It's just vacant land as of now. But usually whenever there's a space, we add it as a parking place.
Any vacant land gets called park?
Not any, but I mean, this one is not zoned as anything else. It's just a plain and empty lot right now. So that's what. In future, if it changes, then we might have to change the land.
Okay, thank you. That's all my questions.
Thank you, Mr. Boreski. I too have a little bit of difficulty with your comps. Considering where the subject property's assessment is sitting at and then your sales. So would you say number 3 is your best being in Tyndall Park, even though it's almost 500 square feet smaller and
Yeah, no, I
lot
agree.
size is smaller?
Yeah, no, I agree with the fact that there are no ideal comps for this one, and I've been straightforward with that because I couldn't find any, a cab or on a retention pond, which is a significant factor in this assessment for the property. It is a 10,555 square feet lot and a almost 2,000 square feet home. So I couldn't find any one even close to that one in terms of any of those factors here. So 19 Edgecombe, my best guess is I would like this one because it has a finished basement, which subject does not have. Although it's a smaller square footage, and it has a smaller lot size. But it's sold for way higher than the subject property. So based on that, I would say it's the subject property is very much supported on the lower assessment though.
Okay, do you have an MLS listing on 19 Edgecombe?
Yes, I do.
Just wondering if there's something remarkable about it.
Okay, so they have the recent upgrades on the property. Apart from the basic knowledge we have on the property is they've done brand new kitchen with new countertops. They've done new flooring, new carpet in the bedrooms in the basement. They've changed their lighting fixtures to LED. Fresh paint throughout, shingles done in 2019. Which, if you also see, there's 5 years of age variant applied to the property, difference in the effective year built.
All right, thank you. Just one quick question in regards to Comp one, under attached garage, it says built-in.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing as multiple attached, multiple attached garage. In old time, when they used to add on the garages to the property record, they put that as built-in rather than multiple.
Okay, yeah, thank you. Ms. Chan, you would like to give us your presentation on your property?
Pardon? Would you repeat, please?
Oh, I'm sorry, yes, if you could give us the presentation on your property, tell us about your property.
Presentations on the pictures that we have?
Yes. You
Yeah.
provided us with some photos, so if you can give us some detail around the photos.
I think my son did that, send the pictures. For the first pictures, it shows that there's a crack on the roof. Probably maybe the ground is shifting. And also the driveway cracking with the chipping. And the post is away from the floor. There's a gap. And also there's lots of crack. In the garage, there's a gap too. That might be something going in. And the wind might be going into the garage door. And at the backyard, and you see the fence is lean against the other side. The ground is shifting. Though we try to pull it up, my husband, 76 years old, and the son, they both help, can't do anything better. And also there's the garage, the side also broken, like the wall. And there's a water mark on the ceiling. And also the roof, look, it doesn't do better on the roof when the city tried to fix with the tile, but it doesn't show good on that. It's like chipping out. And also there's the watermark at the front, the garage. And also the front door, there's the gap. There's a hole. There might be the pets going in, living there. And we do not know how to do that. And also the front, the upstairs, the room also cracking, the stucco. And also the garage, the post also, the stucco also coming out. And also that's from the ground also moving. So there's a big crack from the floor to the post. That's the picture that we show. Of course, the window also have some air leakage and it's water damage too. But people told me that that doesn't involve or include in the picture, so we did not send. And also the roof also coming out with the shingles. And we did fix that last week. And that's my pictures that we have right now. But there's lots of repairs to be done. Maybe cost about 50,000, more or less, with the floor and the wall and the stucco and the fence and the ceiling. I'm not sure the window is that we have to include, but we have fixed the front window, but it doesn't make difference. The cold air come in, and my front door also got the air leakage. We have to fix the front door wetness and the window. And the
Okay.
carpet is not included too. They said it's not on the structure. So people might be like, do lots of work on that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Did you have any questions?
Just one question, Madam Chair. Have you had any quotes from company regarding the repairs to the garage and driveway?
We did that for the garage door about 10 years ago.
Okay.
And we paint that too, but it doesn't work. Like the foundation is always shifting.
Okay, so are you saying that you got repaired, the garage got repaired 5-10 years ago? Is that
10 years ago.
10 years ago? Okay. Thank you, that'll be it.
Thank you. Mr. Boraski, any questions? Oh, you're muted.
You have any question that I had to
Boraski.
I'm sorry, I was muted again. No, I don't have questions for the applicant, but based on what she is showing here as maintenance that is required, I'm wondering, Mr. Assessor, is that a condition level that you think is appropriately reflected in the assessment that you have made or not?
So we're assessing the house as a 2001 home.
Uh-huh.
And we were not aware of this condition of the home, or because those pictures were not shared with us before, or even conveyed the message about this whole issue.
Right.
So, yeah, I don't think the assessment would have considered the fact that there is repairs to the garage needed.
Well, there was a variety. So you're saying all of that is reflective of the normal wear and tear and the normal amount of maintenance done on a home of that age. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying that since these things we were not aware of these cracks and repairs to the garage, and the homeowner did not provide us any quotes or anything. These things at this time we haven't included them as part of the assessment. So
What does that make you think of the value that you're seeking?
me?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, if they can get us some like quotes on how much will it exactly cost, then we can kind of talk about something on certain. It might be, yeah, I would say they do need repair. I'm not saying they don't need any repair, but it's about how much will it cost them.
Mhm.
And then they can, I mean, it's easier if they can just, call us, tell us that this is a code, we can, reassess it depending on that. But
Okay, thank you. That's all my questions.
Thank you. Mr. Seelan?
Just to confirm, on page six, this pictures of your garage, and it appears that the concrete is, I'll say, separating with the 2x4 construction and stuff from the garage door bottom. Is that true, Ms. Chen? Yes.
Yes,
Okay, thank you. That's
it's
all.
the water damage.
Mhm, mhm. Okay. Okay. And the picture on page 7, can you just describe that picture? The picture on page 7, can you describe that picture, please? Is that
7,
your rear fence, or is that a picture from inside your yard?
picture 7, let me see.
Page 7.
Okay, hold on.
Thank
How come?
Sure.
I have to check it.
Sure. Take your time.
Okay. One, two, three, 4, 7. Is the driveway somewhere?
Picture
Cracking. Number
Actually-
7.
page 7.
Oh, that's the backyard.
That's the backyard. The picture is taken from inside your backyard.
Yes,
Inside. Okay.
it's linking that way towards the lake.
Okay, thank you. Okay, and the picture on page 10.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's the chipping.
It's chipping. Was this asphalt originally part of the house, or was this asphalt?
It was not
No, was this from
the city.
street?
Yes,
The street pavement.
yes.
So originally your driveway was concrete to the house.
Mhm. Right.
When they paved the street or repaved the street, they put this surface on here. The same-
Mhm.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
It's not too long. It's about 2-3 years ago, and then it start chipping out.
Mhm.
And you see the picture 11?
Evan? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's away from the wall,
Mhm.
and the water is going in, and it could be the water damage there.
Is that your front of the house with the garage
The
door?
front, right.
Okay. Okay, gotcha. Okay.
And the trail is got a big gap,
Mhm.
and I'm scared about the mouse were going in to hide.
Sure.
Yes.
Understood.
Yeah, we do not know how to do that. We're scared about when we open the door, the mice will go into the front door. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. That's all my questions, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Ms. Chan, I'm just wondering, if you have a number in mind for your assessment that you're looking for? Because I don't have one recorded.
I'm not sure. You're talking about line.
Well,
It-
the city has assessed your home at 502,000. So you're here
Okay.
today and you're disputing that number. So I'm just wondering what number you are looking for the value of your home.
It could be less than right now, maybe 460,000.
Right? Thank you.
Okay.
That is all of my questions. And thank you very much for waiting all afternoon and appearing for us.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ms.
Okay.
Chen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, we have items 12 through 15. And we have no applicants attending, and secretaries, you've not heard from any of the applicants? You have heard nothing, okay. So just give it to me. So we are looking at 35 Castleberry, 113 Amber Trail, 51 51 Tesla Bay and 54 Malden Bay. 2401 Farrier Street. So the panel will just take a short recess. I'd like to call this hearing back to order. The panel has agreed that we are going to hear these 5 properties. Mr. Rehan, if you'd like to start with item number 10, 2401 Barrier Street. Okay. And again, there is no applicant present. And there has been no contact with the secretaries, with the city, nor with the assessor. Yeah, thank you.
The roll number for the property is 0500-9423-505. The address is 2401 Ferrier Street. It's in the neighborhood of Templeton Sinclair. It's a 1-story home built in 1962, living area of 846 square feet with a full basement foundation, and it's a finished basement. It has 1 bathroom. No central AC, it has a single detached garage. The assessed lot size is 47,573 square feet. The assessment for 2025 for that property is 396,000. The total assessment per square feet is 468.09 per square feet. I'm presenting 4 comparables for the property, which are in the same neighborhood as the subject, which is Templeton Sinclair. They are all 1-story built between 1979 to 1985. The living area is ranging from 892 square feet to 1,092 square feet. They all have full basement foundation with finished basements. They have central ACs. Comp 2 and 4 has a single detached garage, and Comp 3 has a multiple detached garage. The assessed lot size for the comparables is ranging from 4,207 square feet to 4,947 square feet. Comp 1 has a commercial adjacent land influence. Comp 3 has the same commercial adjacent land influence, and Comp 4 has bus route and light traffic land influence. The time adjusted sales price is ranging from $361,900 to $408,456. And I would like to recommend the board to maintain the current assessment of 2025 at 396. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Boreski, did you have any questions?
No, I do not.
Mr. Seelan, any questions?
Just to confirm that the lot size is actually 47,500 square feet. Is that true?
Yes, it is.
Thank you. That's all my questions, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, and I also have no questions. Thank you. We can move on to item number 12. 35 Castleberry. Thank you.
The roll number for the subject property is 14100124285. The subject address is 35 Castleberry Meadows Drive. It's in the neighborhood of North Inkster Industrial. It is 2-story built in 2015. The living area is 1,788 square feet. It has a full basement foundation with unfinished basement, 2 full baths, 1 half bath. It has a central AC. It has a attached multiple garage. The lot size is 4,149 square feet with light traffic and parkland influence. The assessment for 2025 for the property is 536,000, and the assessment per square feet comes up to 299.78 per square feet. The comp I'm presenting are all in the same neighborhood, and 3 of them are on the same street as the subject. They are all 4 are 2-story built between. Actually, they're all built in 2017. The living area is ranging from 1,703 square feet to 1,868 square feet, which is very close to the subject. They all have full basement foundation with unfinished basements. They all have same bathroom count as the subject. They all have central AC. They all have the attached multiple garage. The lot size for the comparables are ranging from 4,016 square feet to 4,955 square feet. Comp 2 has a hydro transformer box influence, and Comp 3 has a park influence. The time adjusted sale price is ranging from 535,500 to 582,000. And the time adjusted sales price per square feet is ranging from 290.87 square feet to 329.28 per square feet. Based on the comparables present, I would like to recommend the board to maintain the current assessment at 536,000. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Boraski, any questions?
No, thank you.
Mr. Seelan?
No questions, Madam Chair. Thank you.
I also have no questions. We can move on to number 13, Amber Trail.
Okay, the roll number for that property is 0500-816-5600. The address is 113 Amber Trail. It's in the neighborhood area of Amber Trails. It is a one-story built in 1999. It's 1,695 square feet. It's a walkout basement foundation with a finished basement. It has 3 full bath and 1 shower. It has central AC, 2 fireplace. It has a multiple attached garage and a sunroom on the property. The lot size for that property is 14,412 square feet. It has bus route, light traffic, and retention pond land influences. The assessment for that property is 687,000 for 2025, and the assessment per square feet comes up to 405.31 per square feet. All of the 4 comparables are in the same neighborhood as a subject. They are all one-story built between 1995 to 2011. The living area is ranging from 1,575 square feet to 1,859 square feet. As you can see, Comp 1 has a walkout basement, same as a subject, but Comp 2, 3, and 4 are full basement foundation. All of the properties have a finished basement except Comp 3. Only Comp 1 has single bathroom, Comp 1 has 4 full baths. Comp 2 has 2 full bath, 1 half, 1 shower. Comp 3 has 1 full bath, 1 half, 1 shower. And Comp 4 has 2 full baths, 1 half, 1 shower. They all have central AC. All of these properties comparables have 1 fireplace. They all have the multiple attached garage. And the lot size is ranging from 6,256 square feet to 12,843 square feet. Comp 1 has a retention pond adjacent influence, same as a subject. And Comp 2 has bus route and light traffic land influence. The time adjusted sales price is ranging from 488,500 square feet to 748,100 square, so $100. And time adjusted sales price per square feet is ranging from 301.54 per square feet to 402.42 per square feet. Based on the comparable available, Comp 1 is the best comp that I can present. And I would like to recommend the board to maintain the current assessment of 687.
Thank you. Just going to reconfirm you had no contact at all with the owner.
I did not.
You had no contact. Thanks. Questions, Mr. Boraski?
Yes. What is a secondary unit?
Well, the secondary unit is they have they got the finished basement done, and they built a kitchen and got a legal permit to just make it a secondary unit. So there's 2 families living in that house.
So it's a second dwelling unit in it then?
Yes.
Oh, okay, thank you. That's all.
Mr. Seelan, any questions?
No questions, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Also have no questions. Thank you. We'll proceed to Item 14. This is the Tesla. Yeah.
Okay, the subject roll number is 0500-921-8800. The address is 51 Tesla Bay. It's in the neighborhood of Amber Trails. It's a two-story built in 2006. Living area of 2,519 square feet. It is a walkout basement foundation. It has a finished basement with 2 full baths, 2 half bath, and 2 showers. It has a central AC. It has 1 fireplace and a multiple attached garage. It is the lot size is 12,065 square feet. It has a retention pond adjacent land influence. The assessment for 2025 for this property is $761,000. The assessment per square feet comes up to 302.10 per square feet. The comparable that I'm providing are comp 1 and 2 are in the Layla North neighborhood, and comp 3 and 4 are in the subject neighborhood, which is Amber Trails. They are all 2-story built between 2006 to 2019. The living area is ranging from 2,085 square feet to 3,082 square feet. They all are walkout basement foundations, which with a finished basement. They all have similar bathroom counts. They have central AC. Only comp 3 has 2 fireplace. Rest of the comparables have 1. Attached, they all have the same attached multiple garage. The lot size is ranging from 6,033 square feet to 11,044 square feet. They all comp 1, 2, and 4 have retention pond adjacent, and comp 3 is retention pond influence. The time adjusted sales price is ranging from $618,900 to $976,100. The time adjusted sales price per square feet is ranging from $296.83 per square feet to $403.75 per square feet. Based on the comparables, the subject property is on a lower end of the comparables, and I believe I would like to recommend the board to maintain the current assessment at $761,000. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions, Mr. Boraski?
No, thank you.
Any questions, Mr. Seelan?
No questions, Madam Chair.
I also have no questions. Move on to the last property, number 15, 54 Molodic Bay. Okay. Again, there is no applicant present, no contact with the city clerks or the assessor. Okay. Yes, go ahead.
Thank you. The roll number is 0500-928-6900. The street address is 54 Molden Bay. It's in the neighborhood of Amber Trails. It's a 2-story built in 2008. The living area is 2,305 square feet with a full basement foundation. The basement is unfinished. It has 1 full bath, 2 half bath, 1 shower. It has central AC, 1 fireplace, has a multiple attached garage. The lot size is 5,064 square feet with hydro transformer blocks as a land influence. The 2025 assessment is $560,000. The total assessment per square feet comes up to $242.95 per square feet. All the comparables I'm presenting are from the same neighborhood as the subject. They are all 2-story homes built between 2005 and 2008. The living area is ranging from 2,077 square feet to 2,266 square feet. They all have full basement foundation with unfinished basements. The bathroom counts are similar to the subject. They all have central AC. Only comp 4 has 2 fireplaces. The rest of the comparables have 1 fireplace. They all have same attached multiple garage. The lot size is ranging from 4,957 square feet to 7,252 square feet. COM2 has bus route, external corner, light traffic, and a mailbox influence. And COM3 has a hydro transformer box influence, same as the subject. The time adjusted sales price is ranging from 540,800 to 605,300. The time adjusted sales price per square feet is ranging from 250.72 up to 278.14 per square feet. Now, based on the comparables available, I would like to recommend the board to maintain the current assessment of $560,000. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions, Mr. Sealand?
No questions, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Nebraska.
No, thank you.
I also have any questions. All the items have been heard on the docket this afternoon. And this hearing is closed and we are adjourned, and thank you very much, Mr. Bingham.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you,
Your
Madam Chair.
presentation, please.
Thanks.